Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Utah Ice Sheet here at the Salt Lake City Sports Complex for University of Utah Hockey. Tonight, the Utes begin a 4-game series, a home-and-home, with the Alabama Frozen Tide. You'll see it right here on Utah Hockey on YouTube. Good evening, everybody. Happy February to you all. February 1st here in 2019. Matt Coma alongside Ryan Jones. Baz Echevarri making a guest appearance, joining us from the Bay Area for tonight's broadcast. So glad you guys can join us on a Friday night as Utah gets ready to go take it against the Alabama Crimson Tide. We'll start off with Jonesy. Jonesy, you've played with this team before. You've seen Alabama come here last year as well. Just your opening thoughts on what should be a pretty entertaining rivalry series here.
Yeah, well, I feel like the Utes have to be glad to be back here at home. Have not played back in since December 1st on this home ice. So after a couple of tough road games to start off this second semester, I know they're glad to be back here. It's going to be a physical battle with this home-and-home coming up here with the Alabama Crimson Tide. And I think that this is going to be a big night to kind of give a statement for this first series. The Utes are really desperate for a win, and this could really show how the next 2 weekends are going to play out.
Yeah, both these teams really need a win. Utah's just outside the top 25 as it stands right now. Alabama's 20th in the country going into this weekend. They need to keep winning to get into the top 17. That'll punch their ticket to nationals in March. Paz, this means everything's on the line for both of these teams.
Yeah, it kind of sets up for a great situation. I mean, you think about the all-time sports, you want to be playing playoff games late in the season. In a way, this is a playoff game for both teams, so you're really looking forward to trying to have that momentum going into the national tournament, which is only about 2 months away. So it's a good time to ramp things up, especially you're going to get familiar with these teams playing at home.
Yeah, these two teams will meet again in Alabama in 2 weeks after this weekend. Both teams have made their way out onto the ice. We're just moments away from our starting lineups and our national anthem for tonight's evening, so we'll send it downstairs. Public address announcer Justin Long with tonight's pregame festivities.
South Dakota, number 20, Owen Leonard. Defense from Anchorage, Alaska, number 23, Joseph D. Benedito. Forward from Manhattan Beach, California, number 13, Wyatt. Forward from Missionville, California, number 17, Giovanni Bascone. Forward from Warren, Utah,
All right, hockey fans, getting ready for hockey action here on a Friday night. Utah and Alabama kicking off a 4-game series, home and home between these two teams. In case you missed it, starting lineups. First for the visiting Alabama Crimson Tide, number 6, Taylor Joseph, number 7, Nick Messina, number 13, Timmy Kirkwood, number 65, Pierre Wallette, and number 89, Jack Rooney. You'll remember that name. We'll talk about that in a little bit later on in the broadcast. That's the starting 5 for Alabama. Patrick Osterman gets the start. It's his 11th appearance. He's 4-6 on the season with a 4.25 goals allowed average, 89.9 save percentage. As for the Utes, David Barnes, Wyatt Light, Giovanni Bastone, Owen Lieberknight, Joe DiBenedetto, and Connor Malk gets the start. His 9th appearance of the season. He's 1-3 in between the pipes for Utah. Utah's in the white uniforms, moving left to right in this first period. Alabama's in the crimson as they move right to left. Getting ready for puck drop as we are underway on a Friday night. Utah and Alabama opening the weekend as Wyatt Light fires the first shot just 7 seconds in. And a great start from Utah as they get the first shot of the night.
Yeah, nice job by Light there. Just with a little bit of test. Just a nice shot to make sure that he's awake in the back of the net there and start off the first period with a little bit of offensive zone action.
Almost a rude awakening if you're Alabama. Of course, Alabama, I mean, time zone difference too.
Big time zone difference, big altitude difference as well, as we'll talk about that throughout the night as Utah keeps up the offensive pressure here in this first period. Opening shifts here as Utah tries to gain the zone. They can't hold on to the puck, though. Timmy Kirkwood will ring it around here to the near side looking for Nick Messina. Goes off of his stick. Here to Owen Lieberknight. Tries to come towards the front, poked away. Now Wyatt Light controls. He'll bring it up the near side circle to the top of the slot. Backhand pass finds Meyer coming off of the bench. He'll fire one in front. Save, rebound. Osterman once, twice.
Still loose.
As finally it comes in front. Good pressure here early from Utah.
Yeah, great first shift here by the boys, kind of setting the tone for hopefully for the other lines that can keep up this speed.
This will be the man to watch for Alabama. Jack Rooney had a hat trick in an overtime win over Utah last season as Wyatt Light picks it off. Comes back the other way, but a good poke check by number 19. That's Brian Sable. And gets the poke check for Alabama. He'll bring it up the near side, chipping it along, looking for Demers near side, but stolen away by Utah. Good play by DiBenedetto to get it back into the zone. Alabama coming the other way, bounces over a stick. Now Meyer leads the charge. 3-on-2 they come. Toe drag. Meyer passes over to the far side, looking for number 12, Zach Courier. Off of his stick. Utes keep the zone, though. Back and forth the puck goes. Alabama sends it back out to center ice. Meyer controls the play. Passes it near side, looking for Courier. Off target, though. Alabama looking to attack for the first time tonight. Demers fires a shot. It's just wide. May have took a deflection in front as the Utes look to break the puck out. Up near side, off the stick of Courier. Racing back after it is Saracena for Alabama. Up the far side, looking for Now. One of the top scorers for Alabama this season. Back and forth they go in the corner. Alabama trying to get it out. Good job by Noah Berry, wearing 15 tonight. Normally the 13 that you would see in your program, wearing 15 tonight.
Yeah, it's good to see Beery back in the lineup. He took a little bit of hiatus and focused on school for a little bit, but with injuries to the Skate Utes lineup, has come back to play his fifth-year senior season in this second semester.
Yep, trying to end on a positive note here as the Utes play the final month of the season here. They still have an outside shot at Nationals, but they basically would have to win out for that to happen. As here comes Beery, as the rest of the Utes change, while Lett's going to dodge the check from Beery. It's helped along, and now here come the Crimson Tide with numbers. 3-on-1 they come. Over on the far side, trying to come to the near side, but stolen the puck by Malk. And the Utes will bring it back the other way. Skating hard with it is Bastone. He'll fire one in, and he takes a big check over on the far board. Still loose in front, though. Excuse me, that was yes, that was Bastone with the opportunity there. As it's loose here on the near side, Todfest had it. Now it's chipped up out of play. And end-to-end action stops. We're about 3 minutes and change in, and a good start here from Utah, guys.
Kind of a quick start from the Utes. A lot of good pressure coming in. Like, I mean, of course I mean, I'm sure the time zone, of course, traveling hard. I mean, Jones, you've been a part of traveling teams across country.
Yeah, and I'm sure that Bama flew out here, but either way, whether you got jet lag or you got those bus legs, as we like to call it, it's never easy to come all the way across the country, and then of course the elevation playing a factor in here. I think Utah with a textbook start. I don't know you know, if the boys were firing each other up or if it was something that Coach Harris said. But Utah coming out with a lot of speed. You know, they're playing like their lives depend on it, which they certainly do. So we'll hopefully keep this tempo up and keep the pressure in the Bama end for the rest of this period and moving forward into the game.
Yeah, kind of interesting too, guys. I mean, Alabama was here at 10 o'clock last night practicing, so I mean, just probably trying to get used to what would be a 9 o'clock start for them if they were back on their own campus. So Bama just trying to do what they can to kind of adjust themselves to what is a far later start than what they're used to.
Yeah, say you saw the last time Alabama was here, they made their first ever trip here to Salt Lake a season ago. It went to a 4-3 overtime game the first night, as Jack Rooney scored 3 times in that, including that overtime winner to beat the Utes. But the Utes gave them all they could handle both times here up in Salt Lake. Alabama trying to do a little better this time around. Utah trying to pick up a big win over a ranked opponent. A little bit of a yard sale at the Utah blue line, and it leads to an offside on Alabama. So we're going to whistle with 16:02 to go. No score, shots 3-2 in favor of the home team, as these two teams still trying to feel each other out here on a Friday night.
Yeah, kind of a careless pass through the neutral zone there by Barnes. I know he got tied up there, but just got to be better and got to be crisp in your passing, and especially in the neutral zone. They're lucky that ended up being offsides and didn't create a chance for Bama going forward.
Alabama wins the draw. Saraceno will throw one in on net to Connor Malk. He'll make the save. Utah looking for the breakout, hops over a stick. It's forced back into the Utah end. Stephen Paolo back for Utah. Tips over the far boards, easily picked off by the Tide. As it comes up the near side, Saraceno at the top of the point will send it right back down off of a Bama stick. Over the far side, Perry trying to get a hack at it. Still loose there. Now it's picked up by Paolo. He leads the charge. Utah comes 3-on-2. Paolo leaves it for Jerome. He'll shoot, and a glove save from Osterman. Still loose behind the Alabama cage. Jerome has time in the slot. He'll walk in, fires it down low. Osterman with a save. Second rebound, also saved. Top of the point, Paolo sends it around the boards. Nobody home in white. Nick Messina will chip it ahead. Has Rooney ahead of the play. He comes 1-on-2. Rooney, backhand. Malk makes a save, and he'll cover up as he's forced to hold that one. 15:04. Good saves on both ends by both tendies.
Quick start, too, from the Utes. I mean, just like good pressure. I mean, the first 5 minutes, I mean, sets the tone for obviously like ebb and flow of the game you got to adjust to. But right now, Utah looks like they're just in control of this game.
They certainly are, and now it's just about converting. I mean, they've tested on the offensive zone enough, and right now, I think the only thing that could lead to a couple chances, you had a 3-on-1 chance created by Bama, and then another odd man rush there, is that Utah doesn't get too sucked into trying to score goals so easily that their defenders are pinching in a bad spot.
Alabama looking for their first offensive presence of the night as they fire a shot that's saved by Malk. Still loose down low. Backhand up the near side. Navarre is looking ahead for Beery over his stick. Racing back is Kirkwood for the Tide. Over the far side, back behind Demers. And just calmly backhanded in by Meyer. Teams will set up the breakout. Looking for the home run pass. Connects with number 11, Dylan Teed. Looking for the cross ice. Finds Demers. Good hit by Barnes, but a shot leads to a goal. And that's Jacob now. Right place, right time for the Tide, and they take the first lead of the night.
Yeah, Barnes kind of getting put on an island there. Not a whole lot he could do in that situation. Decides to go with the home run hit, but unfortunately there's nobody in front of that shot. And a good Bama goal. It's something that they really needed to kind of slow that Utah pressure down.
We'll see. It'd be interesting to see the response from the team, too. I mean, for the better part of the first 5.5, they maintained really good pressure. I think right now, if you're Utah, you just keep what you're doing.
That's Jacob now on the goal. It's his 11th of the season, and that puts Alabama in front here after Utah went to a 6-2 shot lead in this contest. The third shot ends up going in, as Utah will now look for the answer. Utes gain the offensive zone. Good play from Owen Lieberknight. Now pass out in front. Has Barnes with a shot, and it's saved right into the chest of Osterman.
That's a good answer there. Great shot by Barnes. And how good has Lieberknight been along the boards? I mean, you just think he's going to get pinched off at any point in time, and he just somehow manages to compact himself through and get pucks deep.
How about Osterman getting across from that post, too? I mean, good job from him in a tough situation.
Dueling freshman goaltenders here in this one, as both Osterman and Malk have made their debuts this season. Utah in the offensive zone. Barnes comes from his point, keeps it on side. Jerome fires one. It's turned aside by Siebold, blocking that one in front. Now Siebold behind the net, looks for an outlet pass, goes off of a Utah stick, still finds Zeke. As he gets out to center ice, and here come the tie 2-on-2. Durkin, but it's offside. Godfrey ahead of the play as Durkin made his move at the blue line, and it cost them an offsides call.
A little bit of a delay on the call there, and the Utes are saved by the whistle there. That was shaping up to be a really good scoring chance for Bama.
Just a bad bounce as Barnes just couldn't contain that puck at the blue line, gets behind him for that 2-on-1. But no harm, no foul as the Tide are offside. Reset here on the near side boards. Won by the Utes as Courier plays it over to the far side. Picked up by Zarconi. Oh, comes right out in front. Big save. That's a block in front. Great play by Josh Navarez.
Are you kidding me?
Playing goaltender in front for Utah.
You might want to buy a lottery ticket after that one. That was pretty lucky. You got his body down in the way there to save the empty net goal.
Excuse me, that was number 22, CJ Odlin with the block in front. A tremendous play from the freshman as that one rings the crossbar. Alabama buzzing at the moment. Finally, Utah clears. Foot race the other way. Saracena. He'll take a hit from Courier. Rest of the Utes in the middle of the change, so Johnson will pick up. So the Utes dodge a huge bullet there as Odlin makes the save as that took a funny bounce out in front. And then another shot ring in the crossbar. Utes looking for some momentum. The pass for Totfest is wide. Wallette touches the puck to negate the icing call, and he'll bring it up himself. One of the senior leaders on this Alabama squad. It's stolen away by Navarez. That one comes right out in front, ends up selling to Messina. Down to Rooney, fires a shot just wide. Top line out for Alabama. Pass in front, goes off a pad, down low. Petrie lost it for a moment. Two Utes collide looking for the hit. Comes to the top of the point. That one's jammed up and sent to the corner. Messina, top of the point. Kirkwood, not a lot on it as that takes a deflection. Meyer will bat that one here to the near corner. Back and forth they call it. Stolen away by Taylor Joseph. Utes get it right back and forth it goes. Top of the point, Joseph. Comes center. He'll fire a wrister. That's tipped in front. And that's a goal. We'll see if it's Joseph or Messina that gets it. That took a redirection in front, and that's 2-0 Alabama.
And pause. Just to bring up your point right after their first goal is, you said is how's Utah going to respond? And I think more so it's how Alabama responded. Getting that first goal on the road is so important as the away team. It just completely changes your momentum, your speed, your pace, because now these guys are saying, hey, we're here to play. We don't care about the elevation. We don't care about the time. No excuses. And right now they're up 2-0 with plenty of scoring chances that this could be worse for the Utes right now. So right now they're gonna have to dig deep and find a way to crawl back in this game.
Yeah, gotta have possessions like you saw to start off the game. Absolutely, I agree with you. I mean, after that goal, I mean, even right now, it's been Alabama, and the time's basically been spent in their zone.
So the goal does go to Taylor Joseph. It's his 12th. That leads the Tide. As Alabama doubles its lead here in the first period, about halfway gone. 9 minutes and change gone here is Connor Mock with the save.
Speaking too, I mean, like Alabama's caught a couple of breaks. I mean, a couple bad bounces. Ryan, I mean, you've been playing here for a while, so you've seen a couple of weird caroms, especially off those Zamboni doors.
Yeah, that northeast corner door there where the Zamboni sits, I've seen plenty of broken sticks, weird bounces. So, it's one of those things where for Utah, you need to know your home boards and where the puck might bounce and come back. And I think we saw that great save by Odlin being in position and being ready for something like that to happen. But just unfortunate bounces, and sometimes it's just not your night.
We've seen those shot passes, too, off the end boards that Utah has kind of played off of and led to a couple scoring opportunities. So you kind of get a cycle going in your end and get the offense rolling, right?
Right.
Alabama still in the offensive zone here. Utes trying to get it out of the zone. They finally do, but only to the top of the red line as Briere will bring it in. That name sounds familiar. Yes, Danny Briere's son plays for Alabama. That is Kalen Briere. as it comes to him right now to the top of the point. Dipsy doodles into the corner, trying to find someone to pass to. Still has that puck as he fires a backhand. Has Durkin a shot just wide.
Good job there, at least to clear out the slot. But, I mean, when a Bama player crashes in there, you got to send someone in there.
Good block here from Courier. Here comes the freshman into the zone. A shot. It's turned aside by Osterman. Rest of the Utes in the middle of a change, though. As that, Courier takes a shot in the back. We say play on. Good steal this time. Backhand from Hunter. Is that still loose? Osterman goes full spread eagle in the paint. Finally makes the save. As that was number 10. Yeah, it's Reed Hunter. Had an opportunity right in front. Just couldn't put it past the freshman.
Fantastic save by Osterman, you know, as he's sitting down on the puck looking for it. And a great play by Hunter, just cutting to the net and going after his own rebound. Pretty nice chance set up by this fourth line here.
Very easily could have been it could be 2-2 right now if it wasn't for Osterman.
Osterman's had to make a couple of big saves here. Shots are 10-8 in favor of Utah. But it's 2-0 Bama. Alabama looking to break the puck out. Saracena home run pass behind Hannah as it comes back to the Utes. Todfest looks for Hunter off of his stick, so no icing as that was touched after the red line. Saracena back for Alabama. Alabama sending up the breakout, and Saracena will lead the charge. Gains the red line, then the blue. He takes a tumble from the stick of Todfest. No call on that side, so.
It looks like he just blew a tire over there.
Still battling here on the near side. Now here come the Utes. Alabama in the middle of a change, so it's a 3-on-2. Near side, Petrie. Petrie, backhand across the crease, no one home. Utes keep it on side. Todfest looking to get it in front. Backhand goes off the back of the net. Nadeau gets it back out to center ice where the Utes will regroup. Meyer to Barnes, back to Meyer. Utes changing up the forward line here. Meyer trying to hold off a check. Linesman gets kind of caught up in it as well as it battles. Now comes out to Wyatt Light. Watch out, this kid's explosive. The freshman near side, backhand, looking front for DiBenedetto, but that's turned aside by Osterman. DiBenedetto behind the net. Gives it a Light. Utah trying to get out in front. Good defense from Alabama. Lieberknight now behind as that comes up on the near side. Big collision here on the near side as Alabama now will look to reset here. Wallette, outlet pass. Here comes Rooney. Rooney leaves it for Joseph. He's got one already and he rings the bar again. That's up and out of play. Almost had two as that's up and out of play with 8:01 to go.
A lot of posts and crossbars from Alabama. Sometimes the goalie's best friend. Or Jonesy, I mean, you probably had some nightmares of hitting a couple of posts in your career.
Yeah, I mean, scoring was tough enough as it is for me. So whenever something rang off the post, it was just absolutely heartbreaking. So Connor Mock's got to be kissing those bad boys right now. I think Bama's hit 2-3 posts so far. So for the Utes, just got to keep pucks out of the front of that slot there, and they've created enough chances. Just got to slide one behind Osterman on the other end.
Alabama looking for more here as that takes a deflection here to the near side. Rooney has a man on the back door. That slides through the pads of Mock, but not out, not in. As that one goes up into the stands here on the near side. It's a souvenir from one of the fans, but it means the puck stays down low in the Utah end.
Yeah, a couple weird bounces there. Thankfully, Alabama couldn't really settle the puck and get a good shot on net there as Mock was found a little bit out of position there.
Kind of a broken play, too. They took a couple of deflections along the way there as we get ready to reset. Jerome goes against Teed for this face-off, and it's won by Utah. Paolo quickly around the boards to Perry. Looking for the breakout. Couldn't really corral that puck. Does get out of the zone, though. Utah passes it along, stolen away by Alabama at the red line. And here they come again. Dylan Teed. Dodging a couple of hacks. Comes back behind the net. Utes in control. Jerome gives it to Odlin. He's tangled up, and it's back to the Tide. Teed, backhand, looking for the backdoor pass. Too many white jerseys in the slot, though. Yes, back and forth, good check there on the far boards from Odlin. Now it's the top of the point. Briere thought about a shot, said soft little pass. Now gets it back, looking for that redirect in front was Teed, but through his feet.
Yeah, Briere's doing a nice job for Alabama right now, just controlling the offense from the point, making smart plays, looking for those redirects and funky passes to kind of shake up this traditional defense for Utah as they just ice the puck to get a little bit of a breather here.
Just needed a breather there, though. A couple of the Utes bent over there as they just had to clear that puck out. A relentless pressure here from Utah and from Alabama, and it only gets worse as they send the first line out. So Jerome will have to go against Joseph this time. It's one to the top of the point, but Zarcone can't keep it in. He'll fire it down low here to the near corner. Odlin. Utes able to get one change thanks to that puck getting out of the zone. Alabama looking for more. Messina will go after it. Fires one in front, looking for Joseph, too high. Now Beery's got it. Pass up the near side, boards too far. It's back to the Tide again. Messina leads it a charge, looks in, just goes wide. As he was looking for that far post, clears the zone though.
Yeah, Utah kind of getting on the change, created that opportunity, but got to get your players rested.
Another shot, pad save from Mock. As now the Utes have some time to skate it, but Totfest can't get by the first man. Now plays it ahead for Beery, who sends it into the far corner. Beery goes after it. Utes trying to set up in the offensive zone here. Totfest, 2-on-2 battle. Puck still loose down there. We're going to get our first penalty. It's going to be on Alabama as that shot from Navarez is turned aside by Osterman. Mock to the bench. Extra attacker now for Utah as Meyer gets tied up here on the near side, and that'll be the whistle. And our first penalty tonight is a high sticking call to Alabama.
Yeah, it's kind of surprising that that first penalty came so late. I mean, it's been clean play for the most part for both teams, but you know, sometimes with these in-state refs, we can see a lot of time spent in the box. I mean, there's been games where we've spent well over a period's worth of time in the box. So good opportunity here for the Utes to come on the peeper and try to cut this lead in half.
So the Utes go to the power play. Penalty is to Timmy Kirkwood. It's just his third penalty of the season. As the Utes get the first power play of the night, and that's a save from Osterman. Is Owen Lieberknight doing a good job off the faceoff there, getting that shot.
Walking in, trying to look for a hole somewhere. I mean, just get your bench going after that quick start. It's kind of just quieted down, and you haven't really seen much from Utah since that 15-minute mark of this period.
Utes win the draw to the top of the point. It comes. Petrie leaves it for Light. Utes' first power play of the evening is DiBenedetto gives it to Light. Light walks in. Wrist shot. Takes a deflection wide. Will Petrie keep it onside? He can't get to it as the Utes will reset here. Quick pass here to the near side. Light. Light into the zone. Cross ice. Has Lieberknight. Shot. Osterman almost snuck underneath that pad. As that came that close to being the first goal for Utah.
Osterman having himself a night right now. He enters the game with just a .001 shy of having a 9% save percentage. So, I mean, you're going to have to pepper this kid with all you got to sneak one past him. He's having himself a game so far.
Back underway. Utah wins the draw, trying to get it to that point position where Meyer's holding on to it. And instead, Alabama, good pressure, able to win that puck and send it all the way down.
Still plenty of time on the power play. You can get one going, at least get some momentum back on your bench, too.
We'll set up the breakout here. It'll be Totfest that brings it ahead. Pass near side, Lieberknight. Quickly to Light. Utes gain the blue line. Light top of the point. Backhand down low as Lieberknight. Back to Light. Just stays onside. Utes now able to set up. Light to DiBenedetto. Back down low to Light. Back up Meyer. Has time. Gives it over to Light. He has his pocket picked while Lett's going to try and push it. And it's going to be another penalty to the Tide. Utes looking to push it along. There's a little bit of a miscommunication there. Utes will now get a 30-second 5-on-3 opportunity as it's going to be Wallette that goes to the box for Alabama.
Yeah, really need this power play to step up here with a huge opportunity to get back in this game, get momentum back on your side. Of course, there's that nice save by Osterman, but you're looking for a couple more chances like that.
So Pierre Wallette, the senior, gets his just his second penalty of the season. It's a slashing call. As Utah will have a brief 5-on-3 here. They can't control the face-off, but good play by Topfest to keep it onside for a moment instead of having it all the way down.
Yeah, that's a tough face-off to lose there, as now Utah's got to reset.
Utah quickly gets into the zone. Petrie now sets up near side, looking for the back door for Light. It's behind him. As they set up again, only about 5 seconds left till Alabama gets another skater as Meyer fires a shot. That took a deflection just wide.
Yeah, it looked like it went off the stick of Osterman on the way in.
Kirkwood comes out of the box, and Light maybe didn't realize that he was coming out. And there's a first penalty for Utah. And as Jonesy just mentioned, that's going to be Light that goes to the box off of that call.
Kind of an easy call too, with Light just coming in there. It took a healthy slash at a Alabama player coming over.
And we got a tripping call behind the play here. I think he was trying to get away with one, but let's see.
And we got a misconduct now.
Well, I mean, you're going 4-on-4, and then you take a really kind of boneheaded type penalty. It looks like there's a Bama player down
yeah,
too?
we do have a man down for the Tide in the corner.
Yeah, and I don't know what words were maybe being exchanged there, but it was Kirkwood for Alabama with kind of a needlessly trip behind the play there. You got to get that area underneath your boot and your skate blade. You get that stick in there and can take someone's legs right out. It's a rather dangerous move. It can be quite hilarious if you get away with it, but the refs were on that one, and we'll see who's the. Looks like Briere is the one getting up off the ice here. You couldn't really see what happened to him behind the play, and maybe that was.
I think it was the initial hit that Light kind of dumped him into the corner there.
Okay, and maybe Kirkwood's reaction there is the trip for the down player, and Briere. We'll hope he's okay. He's certainly been a major factor for Bama tonight as he skates under his own power, at least to the bench.
Yeah, always good to see him able to get to the bench on his own. Still favoring one side of his legs there. So both the 13s end up heading to the box out of this thing. I saw a misconduct call as well from one of our head officials tonight, so I don't know which side that ended up going on.
Well, I mean, too, Jonesy, I mean, you always want to protect your player, but I mean, how hard is it to just like let it go, even though you know that a ref has called something in your favor to kind of like bail you out of a penalty kill situation?
Yeah, and as a Utah player, typically we've led the nation in penalty minutes, or been top 5, top 10 in the years that I was playing. And it was always a frustrating thing where in hockey you can have that kind of mentality where you're going to stand up to someone, especially in the pros, where you can maybe answer a wrongdoing by way of a fight, kind of the unspoken rules of hockey. Here, when everybody's got a cage, you're really not going to be doing that much damage. You always kind of want to tempt someone. It's like, hey, man, go ahead and hit me because it's not really going to hurt. You're just going to hit my cage and hurt yourself more. So it's one of those things where it's a tough penalty. I mean, right now, you're Bama, you have a chance to kind of negate the Utah power play and push this to a 3-0 lead on the road. And now Utah remains on the power play. So interesting thought process there. Understand wanting to stand up for your guy, but sometimes it's the smart play is just to let it go and talk with your shoulder pads between the whistles.
So after all of that, we still stay 5-on-4 for Utah as Light and Kirkwood take matching penalties. As loose here on the near side. That's going to take a deflection up and into the stand here on the near side. There'll be another puck that comes out.
Golden opportunity for Utah. You get called for a penalty and kind of a retaliatory penalty from Bama, and now you find yourself in basically the same situation that you were in when the whole thing got started.
So Kirkwood also gets a 10-minute misconduct. I did see that call in the aftermath of all that stuff. So Kirkwood in the last 17 minutes has 14 penalty minutes. As Alabama breaks it out, Paolo can't control it. Now it finally does. Utah down to the final 45 seconds of this power play. Navarez into the zone. Leaves it for Paolo. That was a big mistake as here comes Nick Messina. Good back check, though, from David Barnes, stealing that puck away.
Yeah, puck just a little bit out of the reach for Messina there where he could corral it and cut towards the net. Good back check by Barnes.
Here comes the Utes again. Jerome just misses that far post. Good check over on the far side by DiBenedetto. That's passes offside, and Petrie will play it.
Kind of a veteran move there from Barnes, too, reading the play, hanging back, and kind of an extra step on that back check. Really helped out.
As the words continue to go back and forth between these two teams. This time it's Now and Petrie had a couple of words for each other.
Yeah, and like I said, when Bama took that first call, it was a little bit late in the first, but after that we've seen just an accumulation of penalties. So as these teams continue to talk and things get chippy, we'll see how the refs, how tight they're going to call this game. So far they've let them kind of play, but you could see how quickly those penalties will stack up if this type of play continues.
Well, game gets a little chippy here towards the end of the first period. Utah still with about 5 seconds of power play time here as Petrie efforts it into the corner. Alabama's back to full strength now. They've got the 2-on-1 numbers, but Meyer couldn't corral that puck, and it leads to a chance, and Mock makes the save as Meyer just couldn't hold on to that puck.
Yeah, as they'll settle it down, just kind of a rolling puck, a little bit awkward for Meyer, and a good save by Mock, just being in position and ready for anything to happen.
Utes break the puck out here under 2 minutes to go in the period. 2-0 Alabama. Utah trying to get one before the end of the period. As Meyer fires a shot off the skate of Wallette. Comes out in front, is jammed at by DiBenedetto. Maybe off the side of the net. Osterman helped it out as well. As it's loose here on the near side. DiBenedetto back down low, Totfest. Looking for something in front. Instead, wheels around the far circle, fires a wrist shot. Easy blocker save. Now comes out in front off of a skate and back to the Tide.
I think we got a Tide player back there. He's got a blade out. He can't get off the ice right now.
And here come the Utes again. Now Totfest with time, shoots, and that's deflected wide. That's number 15, Nicholas Zarconi, trying to effort his way onto the bench. Finally he does as we get a whistle.
Yeah, that blade is right there. It's being kind of shot back. One of the linesmen has it now, but not too often you see that.
No, yeah, it looked like there was a little bit of a battle behind the net, and maybe he stepped on the puck, or it was DiBenedetto's stick that got down there. And you just sometimes have that small blade will break off, especially with the new types of skates that allow you to interchange blades. Sometimes that new steel can be so light, but that also can kind of weaken it, and maybe there's a crack there, so he's lucky to get off, and there's a little 5-on-4 chance for the Utes.
An opportunity, just took a deflection wide.
Well, it looks like we're still 5-on-5 here.
Yeah, doesn't look like anything was called. It was just a blown dead play, I believe. So we'll reset at center ice with exactly 61 seconds to go in this opening frame. Here comes Alabama. That could have been an easy call on Odlin, but that's no call from the referees as well.
Kind of looked like that might have been interference.
Here comes Joseph. Bounces around, excuse me, that's Johnson that had the opportunity. Good defense from Utah as Jerome gets it out of the zone. Wallette quickly over to the far side. Now back down low. 2-on-1 battle. Utes able to steal it away. Still loose down there. Now it's picked up by the Utes. Leading the charge is Bastone. He'll ring it around the boards. Osterman comes out to corral that puck. Utes in the middle of a change. Now Alabama with time. Sable into the zone. Nice little move and a good tip check from David Barnes. Final 10 seconds here is Utah just trying to get it out. As that will be the exclamation point to end this first period. A hip check from David Barnes and the horn sounds. 20 minutes in the books. The Utes are down 2-0. They lead the shot count though 16-9. What have you seen from both these two teams, guys?
Well, I think for the Utes, you got to go into the locker room and say, where's the team that played that first 5 minutes? I mean, they've had great pressure, and of course, there's been some great saves by Osterman on the other end. But the Utes came out controlling the puck, controlling the pace, and after that first goal, really have not been able to get that spark back. So we'll have to see how they're going to answer.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you. That was, you were fine. I mean, even with that goal, I mean, a lot of the chances that came from Bama were just misguided pucks that ended up bouncing off a couple of players and led to scoring chances. If you're Utah, get back to the way you were playing those first 5 minutes, because that's exactly what you wanted to do. And, you know, you had a couple mishaps that happened, but I mean, you kind of have to have a so what attitude and just get right back to where you were at.
So 20 minutes are in the books. We'll step aside for a little bit here, and we'll get you ready for the second period. But don't go anywhere. Jay Sewell will be along with the Alabama broadcaster. He's over on the far side over there. That's Sam Fleming. He'll be joining us at Nationals in Dallas in a couple of weeks. We'll talk to him about that. We'll talk about Alabama. We'll talk about Utah. A lot of stuff to talk about. Jay Sewell and Sam Fleming will be your entertainment for this first intermission. 20 minutes in the books. The Utes trail the Alabama Tide 2-0 after one period of play. Stick around. More hockey on the way here on Utah Hockey on YouTube.
All right, welcome hockey fans. We've got a treat for you tonight. We're going to be visiting with the voice of the Crimson Tide, Sam Fleming. Sam, good to see you again.
Good to see you again. Great to be here in Salt Lake City with you guys again. It's been a long time since I saw you guys in Columbus. It was last year, and then obviously a year ago today last year. But great to be back here in Salt Lake City. Good game so far, a very fast-paced game from both teams, but great to be back, obviously.
Yeah, it's been a fast-paced game, but let's go back to what you said about Nationals. So you and I met at Nationals last year, and this year it's going to be in Texas. When are you coming down?
So I'll be there on the 20th, and I'll be here for the whole tournament, actually. And I'm very much looking forward to working the whole tournament. And what a great tournament we're going to have on our hands this year. I think you and I talked about it, how some of these underdog teams play a big factor into the national tournament. One of those teams being Illinois last year, who made it all the way to the championship game. They knocked off the #1 team at the tournament in Minot State. But coming down there March 20th, going through the 31st, I think it's going to be a great tournament from both the D1, D2, D3, and the women's level as well. So looking forward to that.
Yeah, it's an action-packed 10 days, something like almost 170 games, something like that are going to be broadcast. But again, down in Dallas, what a great facility. I mean, we're going to be right across the street, and it'll be a good time. And last year, what was so interesting is all year long you hear parents and fans and everyone griping about the rankings and how it goes through the rankings. Last year, it went all the way down to almost the very end. And only 2 teams didn't get to the final, but the rankings played out the whole time.
Yeah, and the rankings did play a big factor. I think that first night you saw blowouts from the top seeds. All the teams that made the auto bids were knocked out early on. Sure, they got some of the first goals in the game, but they were knocked out in 8-1 defeats, and then we know how good Adrian was, who just rolled through that whole national tournament. But I think the best game of that tournament was that Ohio-Illinois game. 4v5, overtime, thriller, Ohio in front of their home fans, knocked out by Illinois. I'm pretty sure it was Cruikshank or Forfar who got that game-winning goal. Cristiano Simonetta might have to correct me on that, but that was a great game.
Yeah, and then the Adrian goalie, perfect season, 27 games in a row. What a stellar performance by that lad. But anyway, I would have to agree with you. That game with Ohio and Illinois, it was a slugfest. It went all the way down to the end, and you almost had to wonder if Illinois just didn't, spend all their energy to get to that last game.
Well, I look at that game and I look at the Minot game for Illinois. They did spend a lot of their energy in those two games because Minot, again, a tougher team, the #1 ranked team, but we talked about it. Their gameplay in that tournament went down a little bit as it went on. They didn't really blow anybody out in that tournament. And everybody kind of thought this was the year Minot wins the tournament. And then Adrian comes through at the #2 seed, the unanimous #1s to start this year. And they came through, won that national championship 8-1 against Austin Raudebush, perfect season. They lost him and Braden Coburn, who was there and now is on the SPHL's Huntsville Havoc in Alabama. So they lost some key players, but we know how they build with Gary Astalos over there. They build a team for the future, and they definitely have built a squad to go back and try to win that national tournament 2 years in a row, this year being in Dallas.
Yeah, back-to-back would be something. I don't know when the last time that happened, but I just remember when Illinois played Jamestown. I don't think I've ever seen two shorthanded goals with no response from Jamestown, especially in the national tournament. I mean, that was amazing because Jamestown, pretty good squad all year long.
And we thought Jamestown might have the upper hand. You and I were talking about that before the game, how Jamestown could be this team, a newer team to D1. And Illinois just came out with the fire early on, the two shorthanded goals with no response, and Illinois dominated. But you look at Illinois' team and how many guys they lost. Their fantastic goaltender in net, David Heflin, no longer there for them, and he played stellar that whole tournament. So can Illinois be another surprise this year with a team? They're a little bit outside that top 10 right now, but I'm telling a team that I've got my eyes on are the Liberty Flames this year. Alabama plays them at the end of the season, a team that lost their top scorer, Grant Garvin, who led the nation in scoring, their top defenseman, Zane Schartz, who's now in the ECHL with the Norfolk Admirals. But they keep building. They've still got Brock Thompson and Quinn Ryan over there. That team's going to be one to watch, from my opinion.
Yeah, and I don't know what your opinion was, but I have literally at this caliber of hockey have not seen better reffing out of the crew. We had the ECHL training staff out there, and I got to tell you, it was remarkable that if there was not a hockey play to be made, they didn't raise their hand.
Absolutely, and the refereeing has been good there at the Nationals and here tonight as well. Some good refereeing overall. It's good when you have a crew that's in pro hockey coming down to the ACHA, and we talked about it a little bit after the tournament, how the ACHA is growing as college hockey levels. You look at this, a long road trip between Alabama and Utah, flight trips for both of them, and they're playing a home-and-home series, and it's great to see for college hockey at this level.
What's fun about this is the first of 4 games that each team will have to play. And we've already seen some things that there's going to be a game in the game for the next 3 games, and maybe the end of this one, too.
Yeah.
There's always something going on. And as you see, people are taking numbers. They're watching people as they go to the bench, and there's a lot of chirping down there in the benches. So tell me about your season so far. Alabama's ranked, just climbed from 22nd to 20th. And what do you see for the rest of the year?
So this was a tough year for Alabama coming in. They had a tougher schedule. You look at the teams they played. They played Iowa State, who's #4, Adrian, who's #2. I think they're actually #3. And then they played Oklahoma. They played Missouri State. So the first semester didn't go as well as they were hoping for. They went on a bit of a losing skid. And then that Duquesne weekend seemed to change a lot for this team. 2 wins on the road. Haven't been as good on the road this year. And then they come out with a nice way to start against IUP. Swept their rivals in Arkansas. First win in 6 years in Springdale at the Jones Center. And then they got their first sweep at that arena any team has had in that series. So it was a big weekend for Alabama. 6 straight wins for this team, relying heavily on Garrett Kingsbury, who's not in that tonight, and, of course, Patrick Osterman so far. But I'm telling you, a guy that I like to watch is Jacob Now, number 77, the goal scorer, the first goal scorer. Freshman for this team from St. Charles, a big-time leader. already as a freshman. And that's the same that Nick Messina was last year at this time.
Well, that's what I've seen too. I mean, I had him on our pregame sheet as a player to watch. I always like those guys that when they're on the ice, they're always doing something, and I could even include penalty minutes because they're doing something for the team all the time. And I like the energy that lad shows out on the ice. So tell me about the summertime, the recruiting. Where did Coach Kyle Richards find your players?
So Kyle's done a great job going across the globe, really. Got some Canadians into this team, both goaltenders, Canadians, Gunnar Nielsen and Patrick Osterman, that he recruited. But the variety of guys he recruited around, Jacob Now coming from St. Charles, Illinois, Joey Saracena and Brian Siebold from Tampa, Florida. 2 guys from Florida. We haven't had that in a while. It's a lot of guys. Nick Zarcone coming from New York. And that defense has become really young. You lost some guys, John Lavorne, who is one of the best players this program has ever seen. Now he's graduated, moved on to bigger, better things. But this team has developed such a young core for the future. And I like what they have to provide. Will Zeke, the only player from Alabama who came in, Huntsville, native. It's a good variety, and you have a lot of guys who came back. Bowman, Joseph, Rooney back for a 5th year, the captain of this team. I think they provided a lot of good things for the future. Nick Messina, who's just a sophomore, team's leading scorer. There's a lot of promise here for this Alabama team.
Yeah, and I think that's what we're seeing across the Division I teams at the upper level. Again, they're the top. There's 600 teams in the ACHA men's, and the top 60, the top 10%, get to move up to D1. And we're seeing that not necessarily at the bottom end of those 60 teams, the bottom 30, but the top 30. The roster is starting to go across the nation, north and south, and the number of California kids, the number of Florida kids, and as you know, Utah can't bring the international kids in with their crazy tuition program. They get penalized for coming in, so you can go to Pac-12 school here for $6,000 a year, but $16,000 for those poor Canadian kids to come down. So our recruiting is only national.
But you look at it for Utah, a team that, like you said, even though it's just national, they've developed a young core coming in, and I got to compliment what the coaching staff has done here. A lot of good young players. Brett Meyer's still around as well. Patrick Casper, who is in net, of course, a couple good goaltenders for Utah. But this has been a great series. You look at it, just started last year, 4 really fast-paced games that Alabama took, and so far up 2-0 tonight. But Utah hasn't backed down. And I think that's the best part about this series. There's always some energy coming into it.
The compete level between the 2 teams, and what I liked having met Coach Richards last year was you guys actually enjoy coming here. I mean, it's a long way to come. This is the farthest west, but we've got a couple of parents here from Leeds. His parents are here because they're from Arizona, and it's nice to see that. I mean, you got to remember, these parents have, some of these kids, they've been 16, 17 years. They've been in the car with them, and it's really good to see at this level.
It's always great to have the parents come. And again, like the Teeds are out here, the Nowls all the way from Chicago, Bob Hanna out here, Jeremy's dad, and the Kingsberrys are out here. So it's always great when you have the parents come out. And when they come up and see you, you get to put names to faces of the listeners on the broadcast. And that's always one of the coolest things for me. And getting to see their reactions to their kids playing well live, it's a lot of fun. And it's cool to come out here to Utah. I love this trip, farthest trip Alabama's ever made in their history. And it's always fun to fly out here. You feel like a pro for a little bit when you're flying on the airplane. We got announced over the intercom of the flight yesterday, and people started clapping and coming up and saying good luck. So it was really cool.
Yeah, it's fun to get on the thing and then get high fives as you walk down the aisle, and it's always fun. Now in the downtime, what's the team going to do tomorrow? I know Coach said they like to sleep in, and that's probably admirable because again, sleeping in a hotel the first night at 4,200 feet makes a big difference.
Yeah, and I think they'll sleep again. Of course, they had a 10 p.m. practice here last night, and they looked pretty good getting straight off the airplane. But I think they'll definitely sleep in, maybe get a walk going around because just right downtown Salt Lake City, a lot to see and do. The weather's been perfect here. So I think a little bit of a extended rest, get some food in them, and just walk around. Of course, it's another 7:30 start. And, of course, there's a time change as well that Alabama has to deal with, an hour behind here in Utah. So a little bit extra rest. This is going to be a battle for the rest of these 40 minutes for sure. So I'd expect some extra rest and a little bit of physical activity tomorrow as well.
Now, tomorrow night, I know you guys, I talked to the coach, Coach Kyle, you guys are going to wear red. And of course, we've got the Hockey Fights Cancer tomorrow. And so I'm wearing pink already tonight. We're going to be all in pink tomorrow. And so I think the band's coming. So you're going to see this place rock pretty hard.
And I remember when the band came last year, and this place was loud, and it's a great crowd here tonight as well. And I mean, compliments to this Utah team and what they've built with hockey. I know hockey's grown out here so well in the West Coast, so it's great to see the fans behind this program. I enjoy coming here. It's one of my favorite rinks to call a game in as well.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun here. But again, you and I will be down at Nationals. Anything else you'd like to? Do you want to shout out to the fans back in Alabama?
Yeah, I'd like to say thank you for all the support. And when you come out to a game, it means a lot to us as well, and all the support of me as well. I appreciate everybody tuning in and week out, whether you tune into one broadcast or all of them. And thank you to you guys again for how nice you've been to me. It's been great working with you, and been nice to be back here in Salt Lake City, and can't wait for Dallas. Maybe you and I will call some games together.
That'd be fun, wouldn't it?
That'd be a lot of fun. So glad to be back out here. We got a great 40 minutes left and another game tomorrow. Looking forward to that.
All right, Sam. Thank you for joining us. Appreciate it. Have a good call tonight.
Absolutely.
All right, hockey fans, welcome back and ready for our second period of the night. Utah trailing Alabama 2-0 as we get ready for our middle frame. Matt Coma, Ryan Jones, Boz Echevarria alongside for tonight's broadcast. So glad you guys could join us as well. Guys, just first up, a very eventful first period, but what are you looking for here in the second?
I think from the Utah side, I'm looking for a sense of pride here. They came out with a hot start the first 5 minutes, and then once Bama popped two quick ones back-to-back, Utah kind of fell flat. They of course had some chances, but Bama was really controlling the pace, controlling the tempo, and so Utah's got to come out here and just kind of punch Bama in the mouth. I mean, this is a very, very important game for the Utes moving forward, that they're going to have something to play for, is they could still sneak into that national championship tournament conversation, but it starts with a win here on home ice.
Yeah, you still got 40 minutes to play. I think if you're Utah, just kind of get back to what you were doing. I mean, defense was great in the first period. I mean, for the most part, I think defensively, like, Utah played really well in the first, and you just got to start getting your breakouts and start being a little bit more crisper with your passes, connecting with your teammates, and breaking the puck out to start those offensive rushes that they had in the first period. I think defensively, a lot of the scoring chances that Alabama had, a lot of them were just thrown to the net and bounced off a multitude of players in front of the net. And Bama was just there. I mean, looking at the ice, too, it looks like we have some ice issues.
Yeah, it looks like Zamboni kind of missed a little bit in the middle of the Utah zone. And sure enough, here he's coming back out. You can't see just yet, but he'll be making his way into your screen in about 3, 2, and 1.
Another one.
Come on, another one. All right. He's doing a very good job of not making it into the camera shot. That's really well done.
Trust us, he's out there.
There's
a Zamboni out there to fix this.
You can see a little bit there on the very far left side of the screen there.
So, I mean, that as they're rezamming in this, where Utah is going to be attacking, is that board that we talked about is one of those places where you get those bad bounces. So I think for Utah, just crashing the net and just making plays happen is going to be a big thing. I think for Bama, speaking from the enemy perspective, is they need to come out here, just continue to do what they've done. Is they've settled down a little bit after the first 5. They look comfortable. They're passing the puck well. They're dominating throughout the neutral zone right now. So for Bama, it's kind of stay the course, where Utah's going to need to shake something up to get back in this game.
Well, it's interesting too. You think about it. I mean, like, Alabama they came out a little flat-footed. that first 5 minutes of the first period. I mean, we talked a little bit about the time zone too, and you end up sitting for about 18 minutes, and we're looking at East Coast time. It's, about 11 o'clock over there, so we don't want to keep making excuses of, hey, dude, it's a late start, but when you're an East Coast team playing on the West Coast, like that's brutal for it's hard to go somewhere, travel. Jonesy, you talked about it in the first period as well, just how intense travel is, no matter where you go, but then you start switching time zones, and it kind of adds to it a little bit.
Well, you had it, I think, 2 years ago, the Buffalo trip, playing those 10 a.m. games over on the East Coast?
Yeah, with going out to Buffalo and a 10 a.m. game means at least a 6 a.m. wake up, because you get guys up, you got to get breakfast, you got to get stretched out and warmed up before busing to where you might be playing. And I know for that Buffalo trip, we were staying pretty far out. I'm not exactly sure what town it was, but kind of in the middle of nowhere, New York, and you're busing 45 minutes. You add in that travel time, and just not only the jet lag, but that travel time to the rink sometimes can just kind of take your mentality out of it, rather than just showing up at your home place or somewhere pretty close. So it'll be interesting to see how Bama's going to be affected by this, and if Briere, who we saw go down, I don't think we saw him come back to play in that first, if he's going to be back out there, and how effective he is, because he was controlling that Bama offense from that defensive point. So that'll be interesting to see if he's feeling good enough and can be effective.
So I'll ask you one more question, Jonesy. The Zamboni has just left off the ice. As a former player, when this kind of stuff happens, when there's a couple of spots that were missing or anything, does it play that much of a factor when you're skating out there?
It definitely does, especially moving the puck if there's too much water, or if there's some chips from the intermission entertainment from those figure skating toe points getting dug into the ground. It's just the difference of something jumping up over your stick or skating over the puck. I have terrible eyesight, so I skated over the puck plenty of times anyways, but for an actual good player to do that, it can really throw you off the game.
Oh, come on, Jones. You don't undersell yourself.
Yeah,
You're a good player.
Come on. I've seen many great play from you out there over the years of calling games.
I've been very blessed to be a part of this program, and now being up here in the broadcast booth with you guys. Just the program that Utah has built, that A.J. Bolden and Coach Hurst and all the former players have built up tonight. We have some alumni in the house. You just got to shout those guys out, and hopefully these guys right now are playing for that drum and feather on the front of the sweater tonight, and just kind of play with that sense of pride that this program's really known to have. So.
Well, if you're Noah Beery, you're not playing for anything on the back.
Right.
There's nothing on the back.
Got no nameplate.
The freshman's taking his name. So
and even still, jokes aside, the fact that Beery feels strong enough that he's going to put the pads on again and come out here just kind of shows a sense of the rich tradition that this Utah hockey has. He has no issue, or no reason to come back other than he wants to help out this team. So it's good to see that there's some veteran leadership guys, in this great rookie class that moving forward will hopefully continue and build upon.
Well, I think we as much as we love the game of hockey and being a part of it, we have to remember it's also a collegiate level. Everyone here is not coming to school to play hockey. They're coming here to grab an education and grab a degree. We sometimes forget about the student part of being a student athlete.
All right, as we're back underway here for the second period, and it just started just the same way the first period did, as Utah gets an offensive draw, 6 seconds in this time.
A little less mustard on that shot, though.
Yeah, just a little bit. We'll reset here on the near side. Both top lines are out to start the second period as Alabama wins the draw. They'll chip it all the way down. This will be icing on the Tide. In a span of about 12 seconds, Utah has 2 offensive draws. And still some talking between Rooney and Barnes behind the play here.
There's some smiling going on. Game 1 of a 4-game set, you kind of get to know people really well.
You really don't see that here in the ACHA very much, where these two teams will play. They'll have the weekend off next week, and then Utah flies to Alabama. They'll take on this Tide team in 2 weeks as they'll wrap up this little 4-game set.
Oh, Briere just threw a... Who's that? Threw a stick the other way. Was that Lieberknight's stick?
It's Lieberknight coming back.
The referee saw that the whole way, so if there was an offense, you would imagine it was going to be called as Utah sets up in the offensive zone. Outlet pass to the top of the point. A little off target, looking for Meyer. Utah still in possession, but a good check from Alabama leads Briere the other way. He gets by a man. Now looking for the backhand. He fires it just wide.
Yeah, Meyer kind of overskated there and almost kind of threw a pick into Barnes, and lucky enough that Connor Mock's in position for an easy save.
Both teams in the middle of changes as Wallett will come with speed into the offensive zone over the far side. Teed looks for the backdoor pass. It's way too high. Good job by Now. He has a goal for Alabama tonight. Keeps it in the zone, but Utah looking for the stretch pass, and it connects. Hunter stays on sides. He passed Perry near side. Comes back the other way for Totfest, but he got unable to get to it in time as he took a check from that first shot. Almost a golden opportunity for Utah.
Yeah, Osterman had some trouble getting over, too, on that back end of the play. Kind of a missed opportunity for the Utes.
So Utah picking up where they left off the first 5 minutes of the first period. Another good start for them as they keep the zone. Turnaround shot easily steered aside by Osterman. Now here comes Alabama. Paolo gets to it first. Backhands it near side. Jerome will help with it along. Only to about the hash marks. Teed will go D to D. Near side for Now. Good defense, though, from Paolo. Now backdoor pass off the stick of Johnson. We'll go to the top of the point. Quickly back down low for Teed. Looks for something in front, finds a man, but the shot goes wide. Now loose near side, but too sharp of an angle for Now to hit.
Yeah, Mock didn't really know where that puck was. It took him a while to get from post to post. Lucky the shot went wide.
Another shot from the top of the point as Alabama now finally settles down in the offensive zone. Over the far side, a shot turned aside by Mock. Utah just looking to clear, and they do. This will be icing unless Beery can beat the icing call, and he does. May have been touched on the way there, but that earns Utah a well-deserved change. Here comes Alabama again. Near side, Hanna. He'll fire his shots just wide. Navarez waiting for it. Chips it along for Beery. Gets it back to Navarez. Still loose. Now Meyer picks it up, and a penalty's coming up. Delayed penalty on Alabama as the Utah in the offensive zone. They have the extra attacker as Courier fires a shot. And again, a congregation in front of the cage. Couple of pushes in front. Nothing going to be called out of that, but it is another power play upcoming for Utah.
Yeah, it was behind the play there. I don't know if it got caught in frame for the people at home, but just a needless trip there on the blue line. We'll see who Bama's going to take or who they're going to send to the box.
And no one's gone just yet.
Yeah, Jonesy, it looked like it was a retaliatory penalty again. I mean, one of those things that, I mean, you're playing even strength. You're up 2-0. There's no need to take one of those penalties and allow Utah to come back, find a way to come back into this game. Because right now, if you're Utah, you're just looking for any opportunity to come back and crawl your way back into this game.
It's going to be number 91, Joseph Saracena, that's going to be coming. The referees are trying to get him to put his helmet back on and make his way over to the box here.
Yeah, Saracena doing a pretty good job of trying to blend in there. You know, you just hop back on the bench. You kind of pull the Shaggy. Wasn't me.
Yeah.
You know, take your pick. And so he will rightfully sit for 2, but definitely an interesting play there. And just going back to that icing that was waved off, an excellent effort by Beery to chase down that puck and get that waved off. He's done a great job on the forecheck tonight. So nice job by the 5th-year senior, just really working hard.
So the Utes 0 for 2 on the power play as they turn that puck over. Messina doing a good job on the penalty kill for Alabama.
It's a good hustle play there by Meyer.
Able to win that puck back. Utah 0 for 2 tonight so far with the man advantage. Penalty is to number 91, Joseph Saracena. It's 2 minutes for roughing. And here come the Utes 3-on-2. Lieberknight takes a tumble at the hash marks. Utah trying to keep it in the zone. They do. It's loose down low in the corner. Back and forth it goes as they jam it in the corner. Utah wins it to the top of the point. Meyer has time. Walks in. He'll fire a shot. It's blocked right to Light. Light thought about a shot. Instead gives it back to Meyer. Meyer walks center. Gives it back to Light near side. Playing catch. The senior and the freshman now looking for a redirect in front, stolen away, but right to Light. He winds up. That's blocked in front. A big block by Briere, and he's hurt. He's going to stay on. Another penalty coming up on Alabama. Utah, extra attacker out again as Osterman shuts the door, and another penalty is coming. It's a slash, and it's going to be on Alabama.
Briere still hobbling. He looks like he's having a hard time shaking that one off, skating back to the bench.
Yeah, and he was one of the guys that went down in that first period too. So when he gets back to the hotel, he's definitely going to need an ice bath, some icy hot, ibuprofen, whatever, for a quick turnaround for tomorrow's game. But great job by him just going down and sacrificing the body to block the shot.
Shaking his head going back. I got another game of this and a flight back to Alabama?
No, thank you. So that is number, let me see there. That was number 19. That's Brian Siebel, the freshman, picking up his first penalty of the night. And it's a 5-on-3 again for Utah. Last one didn't work out so well for the Utes. Let's see if this one does. Barnes, wrist shot just wide. Looking on that far post. Utah, big goal here would be huge. As if fire shot, Osterman gets enough of it to turn it up out of play. And this is a big turning point here for Utah. A goal here, or maybe even two, could turn this Tide around. Part of my pun.
You're not forgiven for that.
We're going to let that one go.
There's only so many ways you can say turn the tide with the Crimson Tide here tonight. I'm sorry.
I've heard better ones out of you, Coma.
Back underway as it comes to the top of the point. Paolo looking for Barnes. One time, that's blocked in front. Pushing it along, number 98, Mark Demers. As he earns that puck past the red line, gets a shot for his credit as well. As Utah sets up. Straight line for Utah as Perry quickly to Barnes near his side. Lost the handle on it, chases after it in the corner. Gives it around the boards. As he takes a tumble. Paolo from his point, plays it down low. Barnes couldn't track it down.
Doors, weird bounce.
Yeah, now it's Outfest. Settles it down for Utah. Coming down to the end of the penalty here. Jerome looks about it. Now it's Outfest. Wrist shot through traffic. Osterman the save. It's loose in the corner. First penalty over for Alabama. 1 minute left in the power play for Utah. 2-on-2 battle again in the corner. Referee ready to blow it dead. As it looks like that puck is not going to go anywhere. Now it finally shuffles along.
It's still loose down there, too.
And it's finally we get the whistle after about 20 seconds of that.
So looks like there's an Alabama player there. He kind of got the stick down against one of the Utah players, pulling him back. No call. And that a lot of time there bled off the clock for this power play for the Utes. So good hard work along the boards for Bama to kill some time off this penalty.
So Utah will throw at the first line as they'll try to get a power play goal here to cut the lead to 1. They lead the shot count 3-0 in this second period. Shots were 16 to 10 in favor of Utah in that first. As the Utes get control of the puck. To Benedetto. Surveying options. Now gives it down low, past a little off target for Light. Now he comes up the near side boards, gives it to Benedetto. Under 30 to go in the power play. Now a fired shot. Osterman, easy save. And we'll reset again.
Bama doing a good job choking out those lanes, looking for a cross the other way. I mean, Utah just looking for it. It's just not there.
Yeah, and you can kind of see some of the Utes starting to hang their head a little bit. I know that it's tough to watch another 5-on-3 pass by without getting a point on the board. So Utes will have to just keep on digging deep and get some here.
Meyer fires one that's just wide.
He was looking for Liebernight's stick. It was, I mean, he was there.
You can see them looking for the redirect. Is Light now looking for the same. That's turned aside from Osterman. That'll do it for the penalty as Messina will play it along right out of the box to Siebel. Walks in, looking for the far post just wide.
Looks like a blocker save there out of...
Yeah, Mock might have got a piece of that. As we get a whistle. Maybe a hand pass, I believe.
Well, the net's off behind behind Mock. I don't even know if the refs had seen that yet. Now they're trying to point it out. Yeah, Siebel came out of the box there. It was a nice stretch pass that I don't know if it was intended for him, but the time ran out, and Bama with the chance after they killed that 5-on-3. So tough to watch that if you're a Utah fan to not capitalize on either of those penalties.
A lot more pressure that Utah maintained in their zone. I think, I mean, you never want to take moral victories when you need points on the board, but I think if you're Utah, you have to take that one for what it was worth.
Yeah, I completely agree with you on that one, Boz. I mean, as so far in that first period, things really not bouncing Utah's way and a lot of Bama pressure. So far, we've seen Utah remain in that offensive zone of Bama, and you just get that feeling that the more time you're spending in there, sooner or later, something's going to go your way.
So a reset here in the offensive zone for Utah. 13:21 to go in the second period. It's still 2-0 Bama. Utah showing signs of life over the last couple of shifts. Now Alabama, that could have been a holding call on Navarez. They get tangled up, but we play on. 2-on-2 battle. Now Utes trying to get it out. Beery able to poke it back out to Briere. We'll fire it into the far corner. Utes will try to break it out once more. Near side pass for Barnes. Chipped along for Beery. He'll chip it to the blue line. Barnes trying to go after it. He's offside. And this will be a penalty on Barnes.
Briere's just having a rough night.
Yeah. Briere's once again is down. And this will be the first power play of the night for Alabama as David Barnes takes his first penalty of the night.
Yeah, some words there for Barnes. I don't know if he's thinking that he was incorrectly called there or if he's just exchanging words with the Bama players, but it's going to be a big turning point in the game here if Utah can kill off this penalty for the next 2 minutes.
So we'll see the Alabama front power play here for the first time tonight as we get closer to the halfway point of this contest. Penalty to number 8, David Barnes, 2 minutes charging. As here come the Tide. Rooney, good poke check from Jerome. That's oh, it stays onside, just barely. As Alabama sets it up once more.
Sometimes you got to think the snow in front of the bench.
Rooney back down to Teed. Now outlet pass Wallette shoots and scores. Gives a Yager salute to the rest of his teammates as that's a power play goal and it's 3-0 Alabama.
Yeah, looked like Monk was in good position there, just kind of snuck through the 5-hole. That's a tough break for Utah.
A lot of movement from Bama on their power play. I mean, just looking at the difference between the 5-on-3 of Utah and then what Alabama was doing. I mean, a lot of skaters moved, like the non-puck movement too from Alabama.
Right, and if you're one of those 4 guys on that penalty kill and you're trying to kind of maintain your zone, but you're also needing to know how to communicate and switch when you're going to follow the puck or when you're passing, you know, your man per se off to another person. You got to play a man-to-man, but since you're down, you really need to communicate that movement. Looked like it really put Utah in a tizzy there.
So it's a power play goal for number 65, Pierre Wallette. It's his 6th of the year. Extends Alabama's lead to 3. Utah looking for the answer right now with the first line as Lieberknight sends it in. Light, shoulders off a man, and will earn that puck. Top of the point, backhand stolen away by now. Alabama comes 3-on-4. Good back check though from Utah, and here comes Bastone. Bastone into the zone, a fired shot just wide. Lieberknight takes a check from Wallette. Back down low, another good hit. That one from the freshman De Benedetto. Excuse me, the junior. Their transfer is a good save from Connor Mock. He's able to shut the door there.
Yeah, fantastic save, moving from left to right by Mock. Really can't let this lead grow any bigger for Bama. If you're Utah right now, they're going to need a goal, you know, hopefully in this second half of this period to start to crawl back in it.
So reset, 11:32 to go here in the second period. 3-0 the score.
Looks like Kirkwood is about to come out of the box probably after the next stoppage. Just 10-minute
Looks like he's
misconduct is probably up.
As Perry will send it in for Utah. Jerome going after it. Loose near side, big hit, Matthew Perry. Good job from him. There's a couple of sticks go flying. That's a broken stick from Perry on that check. As Alabama comes the other way. Durkin takes the tumble. Plays it down low from his knees, and here comes Utah. Skating through was Petrie. Now up the far side, Totfest. Gets by one man, looking for something in front. Instead comes behind, looking for Petrie behind him. Going to come to this up the boards. Petrie back down low. Totfest trips up a man. That's a cut and dry tripping call, and that'll be another penalty for Utah.
A little bit of jawing after the play there, and
yeah, it looks like Jerome, a little slash.
Yep.
And these are the moments where you have to keep your cool. We've seen Bama take some retaliation penalties, but even something right there for Jerome, if he hits him a little harder, or if the refs decide to call this a little bit more tight, why would you put yourself in the opportunity to go down on a 5-on-3? Utah, I know they're frustrated, but they really need to keep their heads cool right now and not let this lead extend.
Luring point here too. If you're the Utes, I mean, we talked about the youth of them too. I mean, keep your cool. You got to manage the 2 minutes right now, and then it's a long road back. But I mean, 30 minutes and some change is more than enough time to get that done.
Another penalty killer for Utah, a critical one here as Alabama's 1 for 1 so far. Top line out there is Joseph, all kinds of time. Backdoor easy goal for Alabama as Rooney puts it home. And now it's 4-0. Things starting to slip away from Utah here.
That was like a hot knife through butter right there. Just almost no resistance through the neutral zone into the offensive zone. And you got to give it to Bama. Their speed and movement right now are just really killing the Utes. It's a beautiful play, but there's got to be somebody getting in front of these skaters to slow them down.
Yeah, it was interesting. Paolo kind of pulled off and kind of came. He tried to cut off a skater that was over here, and it just left the lane wide open for Alabama to come in. And like you said, like a knife just coming through. I mean, you kind of got to control the center of the ice before you start giving up the boards in a way.
They can't execute it any better than that. That's going to be Jack Rooney's goal. That's going to be 11 for him on the season. Is Utah now needs a goal more than ever here. 4-0 now the score. Meyer being harassed, plays it along looking for DiBenedetto. This will be icing on Alabama. They have the assist and the goal mixed up downstairs. It was Rooney from Joseph, not the other way around. But 9:57 to go. We're officially past the halfway point. Shots 27-16 in favor of Utah, which is a little surprising given the 4-0 score, guys.
Yeah, I think that's just a testament to Bama defense is making Utah have to shoot from odd areas, low-scoring areas, and just the overall play of Osterman. He's been standing on his head throughout that first period and the first half of this period. The refs coming over to
Chuck and puck happened a little early.
I think it was one of the balls of the youth hockey kids that always come out and give the high fives to the kids. Lost their stick handling ball there. A little bit of room down there on the lower end. Play a little stick hockey. I know we've all done that a time or two in our youth.
Barnes with a little bit of speed here, chance to create some offense.
Has it picked away, but Perry able to support it. Still come into the corner, takes a check for his efforts. It's loose down low still. Now picked up by Alabama. Wallette over the far side. Demers lost it. Back to Wallette. Looking for Kirkwood. Finally seeing some ice time after spending the first 10 minutes in the box there due to that 10-minute misconduct. This is another icing on Alabama. So a chance here for Utah. They'll put out another line out there with 9:20 to go on the clock.
Yeah, if you're Utah right now, you just a little spark of offense here is all you need just to start building on something to get you back into this game and just get you looking forward to tomorrow night right now. I mean, there's plenty of hockey to be played. Just got to get one of these guys to step up.
We'll have a reset on this face-off as that was number 9, Taylor Bowman, got a piece of that puck before it met the ice. He'll be thrown out due to that. So Demers will take the draw. Utes win it. Tip shot in front. Urch almost able to redirect that one home. Goes high over the bar. Now it's 3-on-2 for Bama. Near side, Hannah shoots, scores.
Yeah, tough break there for the Utes that shot gets directed wide, and then a quick break down for Bama. Petrie trying to slide and stop that shot. Looks like he ended up screening Mock. Never had a chance.
Sometimes that's the way breaks go. Just, I mean, leads to scoring opportunities the other way. I mean, we talked about the shot total, how it's just heavily in favor of Utah. But, I mean, of those 12 shots that Bama's had, I mean, 5 in one inning, you look at scoring chances, that's kind of the unwritten story when you look at all hockey games is what are the scoring chances teams are getting.
Right.
So Utes will get an offensive draw here as Osterman will hold on to that puck. Say, Alabama 17 shots, 5 goals. As they've just been able to work the quality over quantity method here in this one. As they've had a couple of brilliant looks and they've been able to capitalize on them. Utes called offside on this face-off. Tavares will come out. Curry will come in. Won by the Tide. Back behind the net and sent back out to center ice. Meyer back for Utah. Gonna look to bring it ahead himself. Gains the red line. They'll just chip it in. The rest of the Utes will chase in after it. Pass back behind off of, looking for Zeke, but it comes back to Bastone. His pass is off target. This will be icing on the Utes. And the whistle blows with 8:32 to go. 5-0 is your score here in the second period. The Tide putting 3 up here in the second period. And Utes just need a couple of shifts here, guys, to kind of get the momentum back on their side.
Yeah, it feels like the air's been sucked out of the barn right now. Need something to get at least like your bench going.
To their credit, everybody up on the bench for Utah. No one slouching down just yet. As the Utes have an opportunity here with a 3-on-2. Bastone will lead the charge, gives it to Courier far side. 2 attackers in front. That shot's turned aside by Osterman. Now sent out back in front. Still loose. And just kind of shuffled into the waiting pads of Osterman. And we'll have another face-off. Utah send its top line out. Looks like Alabama will do the same.
Yeah, you hope to see something come here from this first line. I mean, they open up this game so well, and just everything's been so flat for Utah right now. You see guys don't look that excited to come out for their shift, and you know, with a lot of hanging heads, you just don't want this to get real out of control.
Back down low, Alabama control, looking for the outlet pass off target. Barnes keeps it on size. He fires one, looking for Lieberknight to tip it home. Instead now to Benedetto, back in his own blue line. Leaves it for Barnes. Quick stretch pass near side, looking for Light, can't corral it. And icing will be called.
Utah kind of looks like they're just looking for any way to get going right now.
Yeah, and after getting blown out by Arizona last 2 weekends, and you know, you look up at the scoreboard, you kind of see it more of the same. You got to ask yourself, is you know, what am I playing here for? And you know, that sense of pride has really got to just try to drive you to just show up in this one.
And the matter of fact, you have another game to play this weekend too.
Right, you're seeing these guys tomorrow, so you can't just roll over. You know, you got to show them that you're going to be here to play tonight and tomorrow.
Well, then you got to travel down there in 2 weeks. So, I mean, you're not out of the woods yet. This is game 1. I mean, you think about it too. Hockey, like especially when you play these series or you look at series being played at the highest level, like sometimes you need a wake-up game, and maybe this might be it.
Yeah.
Alabama sends it into the offensive zone. Connor Mock still back there for Utah as he kind of leaves that alone. Kirkwood able to get a stick on it for a moment. Utah able to regain control. They have Light way ahead of the play looking for that stretch pass. Instead, it's Jerome. He's poked away at the blue line, and here comes Alabama again, 3-on-2.
Light.
Rooney this time took Messina. Backdoor Wallette, and just off of his stick.
Great setup by Bama there. Utes getting lucky because that was a wide open shot there.
Utes looking up the near side. Totfest. He'll take a check from Messina. Perry trying to get it out. Oh, and just does. Kirkwood can't hold on to it. Back come the Tide again. Joseph Has numbers in front. Rooney looks for the top side and fires that over the frame. Zarconi keeps it in. It's back down low. Run hard around the boards. That's Nicholas Rodin making his first appearance tonight. Again, we'll send it hard. And this one looked like it was going to be icing. Ended up getting a deflection, so it's waved off. Utes with a wholesale change. Alabama just taps it along. It's back to the Utes. Meyer sets up behind the net. Brings it up the far side. Has time. Instead looks for the home run pass. Totfest has it at the blue line. Brings it onside. Gives it down low. He takes a big hit on for his effort. As that shot is saved by Osterman. Near side. Teams battling for it. Navarez plays it down low.
Yeah.
This will be a penalty on Alabama as that's Beery that takes a tumble. I think Bastone, I believe, with him, or Navarez.
Yeah, Bowman was just like, it was kind of the tail end of that final play where he just wrapped up the player and skating away. Sometimes that happens.
It's a holding call to number 9, Taylor Bowman. So let's see what Utah can do on this power play. They are 0 for 4 tonight with the man advantage.
Yeah, just need anything right now. And I think for Utah, you're down 5-0. Don't get too cute on this power play. Less passes, more shots. That's what I would assume Coach Hurst is stressing on the bench there.
And
Yeah,
again, here's another 5-on-3 for Utah. Every Utah power play has turned into a 5-on-3, as this will be the longest of the three. It'll be a holding call on the number 19. That's Brian Sable, his second penalty of the night.
Yeah, I mean, looking at this scoreboard, and looks like Bama's going to get maybe a little bit of a warning to the bench, too, for talking back to the ref. But Bama putting themselves in these situations, these 5-on-3 situations. Right now they've gotten away with it against Utah. Hopefully they can take advantage on this one. But if Bama, sitting where they're at number 20, if they're moving against, nationally ranked teams moving forward in the tournament, that can really bite you against teams with really, really good power plays.
Yep, so today will be a minute 50 of 5-on-3 time here. Utah wisely will take its time out here. What's Coach Ryan or Brett Hurst? Brett Hurst. I'm getting Ryan Hurst on my mind for some reason. He's over there.
He is here.
He's over there, I think. But
well, Ryan's actually sitting to the
where
left
is he?
of us. Yeah.
Yeah, I can see him over there. So figured you didn't know if he'd be closer down into the
One of
bench.
the Hurst brothers are there.
What is Brett Hurst talking to the guys down there?
I mean, look, he's definitely drawing up something right now. Maybe it's something that they've gone over in practice, or maybe it's something from back in his playing days overseas that he's got something up his sleeve to just kind of get a spark here, at least just get a scoring chance. And like I was saying before they took the 5-on-3 is that Utah's going to need a lot of shots on goals right now because Osterman has really been playing well, and nothing's been going by him right now, so just got to keep peppering him.
Yeah, you got to create opportunities where he's going to slide from post to post and actually come out of the crease too to the top of it. That's one of the things that you tend to see. We saw it last year at Nationals. A lot of the teams that went deep into their playoff run, they create a lot of lateral or force the goalie to create a lot of lateral movement in there, and it opens up the net. I mean, Jonesy, you've probably seen that a lot too, especially as of late playing.
Yeah, and especially from up here in the booth, you could just kind of see when you get those backdoor passes or you get a goalie kind of out of position, you just get those big eyes as you see that white net behind him.
All right, so let's see what Utah can do. 5-on-3 here for a minute 40 as they set up. Top of the point. Looking for the backdoor pass was Totfest. That's easily stolen and sent down the ice.
I don't think that's what Coach Hurst drew up.
That's Petrie, that tried to fire that pass.
Sometimes you got, especially with the Patriots playing, you just got to take what they give you sometimes.
Super Bowl, of course, 2 days away. Meyer has time. There's just too much traffic in front. As Petrie now will give it a shot. Still looking. Now Meyer quickly passing. One-time shot. That's deflected wide. All three of the Tide very low, condensed in the bottom of the slot. As Meyer has to corral that. Still looking for something in front. That's blocked. Back to Petrie. Now Meyer quickly to Light. Still can't find anything. Now quickly, one time shot. Osterman able to turn it aside. Utah just can't find a shooting lane. Light trying again. This one off the paddle this time of Osterman. Has to check it for good measure. Meyer once again winds up. Thought about it. Tries to give it back. Instead stolen by Tide and cleared.
Yeah, some really great opportunities there. And the Bama bench just ecstatic, giving up the praise for their tender Osterman. Some great saves by him.
Utes will get probably one last crack here to try and get on the 5-on-3. Lieberknight with speed, lost the handle on it, and that'll do it. Another 5-on-3 by the wayside for Utah. They'll have one last rush with the 5-on-4. Bowman's out of the box. And they'll just send it into the corner. That goes up into the stands. 1 second remains on the power play. So, guys, I'll ask you, Jonesy, first. As far as the power play goes, there's just nothing to do. What do you do if there's no shooting lanes?
I mean, I think Utah did a good job. I mean, of course, you'd like to see him come away with the goal there. And I know Boz said this earlier. Moral victories are tough when you need points, but I think Meyer, Petrie, Light did a good job of making Osterman move around. And just so far, he's gotten the better of him tonight.
I think maybe just one thing is probably like maybe a little bit quicker with your passes. I saw Osterman getting over a little bit ahead of the pass going over. So if you add some speed to it, if you look at any sport, speed kills. And it doesn't really matter what sport you're playing. So you add a little bit of speed. I think they had the right idea, but you add some speed to it, you end up causing a lot of problems for the other team.
Puck back out in neutral ice. Alabama forced to tag up on the delayed offside. Gives Utah a chance to catch their breath here and pushing along. Barnes floated ahead. Osterman will catch that like a left fielder fielding pop flies in spring training, which I assume is coming up pretty soon.
Yeah, about 14 days, 12 days.
Pitchers and catchers report, right?
Yeah. I know. I got two baseball guys up here in the booth.
But go back to your point, Boz, just on the speed aspect of it is urgency. At this point, you got 2 minutes left in the second period. You got a 5-on-3. You got to go. You know, these goals are going to have to come quicker and quicker as time goes away. And even if you're just chipping away at that lead, you know, one goes in, then maybe another quick one. Next thing you know, you're rolling into the next period with a little bit of momentum and a lot of time. And, you know, crazier things have happened.
Think about it, too. Once you get to that national level, it's like it is quick, and it forces you to play quick. What speed does, I mean, that like kind of goes without saying. Speed creates speed, but it also forces players to make decisions in uncomfortable situations because some teams may not be accustomed to that, and it creates a lot of problems.
Well, I'd say just every error kind of gets amplified at the national level, too. You have to be a little bit more crisp with your passes, a little bit smarter with your decisions. So Alabama's trying to get into that tournament for the first time at the D1 level. Made it to the D3 national tournament 3 times before making the move up. Back and forth, it bounces in the bottom of the slot. Utah just can't get a stick on it, and back come the Tide again, 3-on-2. This time Durkin takes a tumble, allows Utah to break this puck out. Lieberknight has time. He comes 1-on-2. Lieberknight tried to leave it for Light. It was just a little off target and took a big hit. Alabama in again. Durkin has, that's number 97. That's Godfrey. Haven't had to call his number a lot tonight.
Yeah, good back check by Lieberknight just to kind of tie him up and make him think about it, and thankfully didn't have a chance on Mock.
Turnover in the offensive end as Durkin gets it back out to center ice. Sebold back behind. Briere surveys his options, just tapped along by Alabama, no icing. Under a minute to go here in the second period. It's backhanded down low. Alabama's going to get to it first. Zeke top of the point. Shot from there is wide. Going to ring around here to the near side boards. Perry's got a man open if he can find him, but good defense from Alabama. Briere looks for the cross ice pass off of a Utah stick. Final 20 seconds and counting. Near side Perry. Backhanded along. Looking for Totfest, goes high up in the air. Utah trying to beat the buzzer here. Totfest looks for the back door for DiBenedetto. He was a little held up.
I think his stick was tied there too.
Yeah.
That was a good play. I mean, that's the play that you want to end the period on.
Right.
I mean, of course, you would have liked to take the old goose egg off the scoreboard, but you talk about plays that you want to create going in and putting momentum. That last rush is probably what you're looking for.
Yeah, it's a shame that he couldn't get the stick on that one. I think if you're Utah right now, I think the big storyline is, you know, due to injuries and other things, that we've had a lot of guys run through the captaincy right now. So you notice that first-year player DiBenedetto wearing the C, and you know, as the guys refer to him as Debo, you know, with that leadership being put into that role, is how is he going to get into the locker room and ignite the guys? How are some of those veterans, Barnes, Meyer, Beery, how are they going to kind of spark that life and, you know, at least get something out of this third period out of the guys? It'll be really interesting to see what kind of pace and fire these Utes come out with.
Yeah, a lot of youth on the team. I think this is, I mean, we've talked about growing points for this team, and I think because of that youth, like, you kind of have to go in and see how they're going to react to it. You don't ever want to put situations where you kind of, hey, you know, let's see how you react. But when you're in those situations, you do have coaching points, and you kind of, you know, sometimes the best coaches are just, we're going to see how you react in this situation and go from there.
All right, so that'll do it for the second period. 40 minutes in the books. We'll step aside. We'll have more from the Utah Ice Sheet here coming up in just a little bit. 5-0 the score. Alabama leads Utah through 2 periods of play. We'll be back for the third in just a couple of minutes. All right, hockey fans, welcome back. Getting ready for our third period of the night. Utah trailing Alabama 5-0 through 2 periods of play. Matt Como alongside the former Ute Ryan Jones, former Ute broadcaster, joining us in the spotlight tonight. I'm Oz Echevarri.
That's a bold statement. that is way more credit than I deserve.
You're going to be in Dallas with us, though, aren't you?
I am, yeah. It should be a good time.
Yeah, you say you're going. Jonesy's going as well, right?
Yeah, pretty excited to head down to Nationals and see some of the top teams in the ACHA. It's going to be some great hockey.
Yeah, you're going to be a rookie again now.
Yeah, I guess
Yeah.
so. Is there any hazing things I need to know about? Any songs I'm going to have to learn to sing?
No, well, I mean, there's a couple of stuff you might have to carry. They're all,
okay.
They're all located right behind you.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
There's this tall stack of Pelican cases behind us. Maybe the first tab at the local watering hole afterwards.
There you go.
But it should be a fun time. We'll be there down at the end of March. We're coordinating the broadcast once again. We were down there in Columbus last year. Have a much bigger crew. You saw Sam and Jay in the first intermission. They'll both be there as well. We got I think we have about 60 people on this broadcast crew that we're doing for all 10. Josh, our technical director extraordinaire, will be there as well.
Should be a warmer broadcast, too.
Much warmer, I would imagine. I imagine Dallas in April is a lot warmer than Columbus was.
And it's, we'll see if this Alabama team's going to be there and possibly this Utah team. It's going to be a long road ahead. They're going to have to steal some games from Alabama, but so far, Bama is looking like a tournament team if they can keep this pace of play up.
Yep, they need to get 3 more spots. They're currently at number 20. It's going to be the top 17 that are going to get to go. They need to move 3 spots in the next month to try and get into that tournament, that field of 20.
Of course, that tournament didn't come without controversy last year. Of course, talking about the play-in games basically with conference champions getting the auto bid. It kind of stirred the pot a little bit with some of those auto bid teams just getting blown out of the water.
Yeah, it always seems to happen. You get the 3 auto bids, the Eastern Conference teams. I believe those 3 auto bids are ranked 28, 38, and 42, I believe, in the country. So, this Alabama team would like to jump one of those teams, or wondering why not us instead of one of those 3 teams. If they do crack the top 17, they will be in that play-in game that first day at Nationals. That D1 tournament's always a tough one. It's this only single elimination tournament that the ACHA's got.
It's a brutal schedule to go all the way. You got to play 5 games or 5 straight days to get to championship. Well, I guess last year it was Championship Tuesday.
Yeah, you got to win 4 games to get to the title game. The 5th one lets you hold the Murdoch Cup and skate it around and live your dreams of holding on to a national championship.
It's a heavy cup, too, man.
It's a real heavy cup. We both saw it last season. It's a very big cup. As we're back underway for this third period, we're about a minute into it. As Utah and Alabama still kind of feeling each other out. We'll see how hard Alabama pushes here with the 5-goal cushion. And I'm curious to see how Utah comes out of this one, too. We saw a little bit of momentum in the end of that second period, but how do they come out here in this third?
Yeah, during the intermission there, I got a chance to talk to a former teammate of mine, Utah hockey alumni, Seamus Bertinoli, and he brought up a really good point. He's kind of went down to the tunnel there when the guys were coming out after intermission and just says, just get a goal. Just kind of got to get this goose egg off of there and just start working towards something. I mean, Utah has been outscored pretty heavily in their past couple of games, and so just to build off of anything going into tomorrow, and if you could win this period, per se, by outscoring Bama.
Oh, look out.
Heads up. Ooh, that comes almost up to us here. Almost had Reese Jensen over just to our left here.
I mean, to your point, too, Jonesy, I think that, you look at that one goal, I think a little bit, too, in this game with those 5-on-3s. I think it almost feels like this Utah team is pressing a little bit just to try to get one in the back of the net, especially being shut out last weekend or struggling to get goals last weekend as Bama scores again. But it almost feels like the Utah team's pressing to get one.
Yeah, that's a bummer here. Looks like they had Casper start. We didn't mention that. So Casper came in to relieve Monk, and on his first shot, he sneaks by him to increase this lead to 6.
So just 2 minutes gone here in this first period, or it's not first period, third period, excuse me.
First period for Casper.
First period for Casper, third for us up here in the booth. 6-0 now the score after that one. So Alabama looks like they're going to cruise to the victory here in this one. The two teams will meet again tomorrow night. Big event here at the complex tomorrow night. Everybody will be decked in pink for our annual breast cancer awareness game. The boys will be wearing specialty jerseys. They'll be auctioned off as well. So we hope you guys all enjoy it tomorrow. We have a raffle, food, prizes. I think some special guests are coming as well. So hope you guys can make it out tomorrow night, 7:30 here at the Salt Lake City Sports Complex as the Utes wrap up their weekend here with Alabama.
I mean, especially too, I mean, like, just being in a situation, I think, like, I mean, especially other sports too, where score matters, just getting that one on the scoreboard just to relax in a way.
See what Utah's got here as Barnes fires a shot. Osterman makes the save. And now here comes Alabama again. 3-on-2. Trying to make it a 3-on-3 is Hunter. That shot just goes wide. Alabama can't keep it onside. Oh, turnover. Here comes an opportunity. Beery pulls the trigger, but Osterman turns it aside and has to turn aside Beery as well as he comes sliding in. They both give a little love tap and keep on moving on.
Oh, yeah, not a whole lot of intent in there on that collision.
No.
Good chance for Beery there. Unfortunately, couldn't keep his feet to maybe make a move and make Osterman move left to right or anything like that.
Freshman's been doing well so far for Alabama. That's now 32 shots for him tonight. Hasn't allowed a goal yet.
He has had a lot of easy saves tonight, though. I mean,
he's had to try a couple of times, but most of them have been pretty routine.
Well, I mean, a lot of the saves that he made that were pretty, I mean, remarkable in the first. I mean, does that, Jonesy, how does that get in your head a little bit, too, when you're playing against a goalie like that?
I mean, when you're playing against a goalie that's coming up with some ridiculous saves, it can take your head out of it a little bit. You know, when you hit the post or you just get robbed and you just kind of go back to the bench and, you know, you got to be a little bit of a 10-second Tom about it and forget about it, because if you're thinking, oh, I should have had this, or I'm letting the guys down by not scoring there, you know, to no fault of your own, he's just been a hot goaltender tonight. And, you know, you start gripping the stick and shooting pucks wide and can really get in your head.
Just under 4 minutes gone here in this third period. Casper making a save there.
Luckily, no video boards. You don't go back to looking at it while you skate back to the bench or while you're on the bench too.
Yeah, I mean, you got your head up looking at it, or you're doing the Bill Belichick throwing the Surface Pro on the bench there.
Yeah.
Well, I guess in the NHL it's iPads.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very on brand for Boz here.
Well, we got to keep it within the right sport.
Yeah.
All that new technology that the NHL has busted out during the All-Star weekend out there in San Jose.
Yeah, Gary Bennett making a trip down to One Infinite Loop, meet with Tim Cook and the guys at Apple this past weekend. That was a pretty sweet event. Barry was it was definitely rocking with the hockey world converging on it.
Yeah, the hashtag high-tech hockey out there in Silicon Valley.
I liked it. I mean,
I thought it was pretty good. All the tracking and information and stuff like that can really take this game to the next level up at the top flight.
That's what I think is Next Gen Stats. I think ESPN uses.
Oh, there's the goal. And it's going to be Austin Totfest that breaks the shutout. Just slips through the 5-hole, and Utah has a little bit of life here in the third period.
Yeah, fans up there getting, you know, something to cheer about. And typically in a 6-0 game, you don't see guys really coming together like that to celebrate. So you can clearly see maybe this will be that weight that gets lifted off of the Utes' shoulders here as just a sigh of relief to say thank you that we're on the board.
I was about 2, maybe 3 minutes away from start calling about the fact that he hasn't had a shutout this season. But Totfest makes that point irrelevant as he gets his goal. It's going to be Totfest's third of the season.
We got a stoppage down here. I can't see, but we have a Ute down, clearly in a lot of pain.
I didn't get a good look at it either.
It's the shoulder, I believe. But Bastone was signaling to the trainers.
Maybe Paulo.
That's what it looks like down there.
Utes just
it's number 12. That's Zach Courier.
the Utes this year with a ton of injuries have really set them back, especially early on in the season. So you hate to see this. Courier's in a whole lot of pain grabbing at that left shoulder.
Courier, one of the many freshmen on this team. Able to get back up and sit up there, but it does not look good for him.
I think with his movement right now and a score like this, I think Courier's night is most likely going to be done.
And so he'll just come straight to the penalty bench here, and he'll walk back to the locker room. The 5 stars training staff that we've got here, we'll take a look at him. Hopefully we'll see him back out there as soon as he's ready to go.
Nation's best Scholastic Hospital.
That's right.
Just up the way.
Yep,
The
up
University
there,
of
just
Utah,
up the hill, about a couple of minutes away from where we are here. As we're back underway. 6-1 now the score. Utah has broken the shutout thanks to Austin Totfest's goal. Let's see if they can add some more to it. Barnes into the offensive zone. Tries to come in front. Good defense from Alabama. Demers looking for the home run pass. Finds his man in Hannah. Trying to get by Baston. Fires a backhand. Easily turned aside by Casper. Now the team's battle in the corner. Comes back out. Top of the point, Briere fires a shot. That's blocked in front by Barnes. Shipped outlet pass off the stick of Beery. Back to the Tide. Briere to Siebel. A little bit of a pick there as Briere brings it in. Dodges a stick check. Zeke tried to pull the trigger, or try to give it back to Briere, one or the other. Now Briere giving all kinds of problems to Baston. Or excuse me, that's Totfest. Or Petrie. Third time's the charm. It's the block numbers. The 18, the 19, the 17 all look the same.
Yeah, we'll,
one of these times I'll get it right.
We'll change the number type for Coma. At least it's not black or dark on dark.
Yes, we've seen a couple of those over the years.
UNLV. We'll see at Nationals.
Yeah, we'll see them up there. They're one of the top 10 teams now in the nation.
That was kind of a fun game they had last year with Ohio. I went to overtime, fought through adversity, and
I believe you called that game, Buzz.
Hey, I'm not. I think I lost my voice in that game.
I think we all lost our voice at some point over that weekend.
Oh man, well at least the week after.
It was a fun time though.
You think we'll get the puck streak going on at Nationals?
I don't know. I do not know.
At least the glow puck. So blue was it? Blue
Don't
was
think
under
it's in,
90.
I don't think it's in the budget. I don't think it's in the budget though. Matthew Perry's stick takes a ride back into the defensive zone.
Is that a blue stick or a red stick?
I think that was probably a blue one. Totfest brings it along, gives it to Jerome. Utes 3-on-2. Jerome fired shot off the glove of Osterman. And it's back to Alabama. Dylan Teed up the near side, backhands it back into his own end. Saraceno quickly across the ice. Demers, quick passing, now to Teed, lost the handle on it, regathers in the corner. Top of the point, Saraceno can't keep it on side. And back comes Alabama, Demers. Quick to Teed, just shovels it along now. Can't pull the trigger on it. It's back out to the blue line. Demers will try this time. Gives it a now. Now will shoot, save Casper, loose in front, kicked away by the Utes. Navarez behind the net. Met by 2 Alabama players. Utes get it out to Meyer. Up the near side, Wallette keeps it in. Alabama will change up one member of the unit as Utah will continue to try and break this puck out. Meyer up the near side, Navarez. Quick across ice pass. Finds his man, number 16. That's Colin Kinslow making his first appearance tonight. As Alabama breaks it out, here they come with numbers once again. Near side for Joseph, pass off target. Gives Odlin the opportunity to go after it. Pass out in front, wide open is Messina, backhand, and Casper comes down and makes a good save.
Yeah, great job by Casper coming out of the crease there and cutting off the angle and getting a good stop. Utes were desperate to get a stop and a change there, kind of reset.
So they'll throw the top line out there. Alabama will send out its second line. Bowman goes against DiBenedetto. Utes win the draw. Light looking for the flash. Pass, gets it off of his stick. Now races ahead. Light. Near side. Oh, he rings the bar.
Ooh.
It looked like it
I
was
thought
in.
that was in.
It looked like it hit just inside the bar, but referee says no.
That's reviewable in 2 months.
We may have to take, if we had the replay here, we would want to take a look at it. Got the goal, we have the goal cam back there, but I don't think he got it. His Light will try again on the short side. That one shrugged off by Osterman.
Nice job by Osterman getting to that post and just really giving Light no shot there.
Utah's first line doing some work here. Is Wyatt Light bumped off the puck, gets it right back though, has DiBenedetto shot, save, loose underneath, and the net's off.
Wow.
And the play is blown dead.
Wow. Yeah,
Yeah, Bama's not going to get a change either.
No.
That sequence of shots there by Light and that offense created there, I mean, you just wish you could send maybe that whole 60 seconds to Toronto for a review there. From our angle, that did look like it had crossed, but we're up here, and the ref had probably a pretty good sight line down on the goal line.
And Chris McPhee down there was right on the goal line. If anyone was going to see it, it was going to be him.
Yep, McPhee, known great ref, totally.
So we'll reset again. A good shift from Utah's first line.
It's a good conversation.
Definitely a good conversation.
Looks like Bama's going to take a timeout.
Yeah, it's a smart one from Alabama as they were on their heels there.
Like that shift by the Utes, though. I mean, just going, you know, what I said to begin the period is just try to win this period. You might not make it all the way back to get that 6 goals back, but if you can win this period, you know, 3-1, 2-1, whatever, and use that momentum to come into tomorrow night, you know, breast cancer night, the stands hopefully will be packed, and kind of get that energy back into this club to make a run at Bama and, you know, hopefully carry that momentum going back towards Tuscaloosa.
It almost feels like, I mean, after that goal, it's a little bit looser on the ice right now. I mean, they're playing with a little bit more step. It seems like they're kind of spreading the ice out. I mean, using the whole 100 feet. I was going to say 85, but I get my dimensions right because we're back on Olympic ice.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, it seems like they're going a little bit looser, and just kind of take that attitude now that you actually you got a goal that you worked for, and you know, take that going into, like you said, going in tomorrow and have some fun with it.
It's all about building momentum for tomorrow. 7:30 here at the Utah Ice Sheet. Join us in person if you can. We'll be here on the broadcast as well. Alabama wins the draw. D-to-D, they go in their own end. Looking for the outlet pass. Jerome had a chance at it. Instead, here comes Alabama. Durkin gets by one defender. It's loose down low. Now Myers got it. Chips it out. Utes with some ice to skate in front. Jerome chips it along. This one will go on net to Osterman. He'll corral that and get himself a whistle. So 10:43 to go. Third period, 6-1 is your score. The goals one apiece here in this third period. Utes shots are still heavily in favor of Utah. Looks like 35-24 at the moment. As they just haven't been able to capitalize on their opportunities the way that Alabama has.
Yeah, Utah having a tough night on draws too. Big hit there, but got to win some of those offensive zone face-offs to maybe get you a quick shot or something.
And offside is the call. Beery just a little ahead of the play.
Seen it too. I mean, it kind of killed a lot of those 5-on-3s, losing those face-offs. I mean, one of those when they were down 5-0 after that timeout. I mean, a lot of your power plays come off that face-off and being able to get a cycle in or get the puck movement.
Right.
Utes win the draw. Lieberknight, good pressure, gives it a Light. Light shoots, takes a deflection in front. Lieberknight can't pull the trigger, though. Stays in the zone. Light quickly up, looking for Beery. Or excuse me, no, that's Rodin that fired that shot from the top. As the Utes back in their own end. DiBenedetto up the far side, Lieberknight. Settles, chips it up. Light trying to chip it past for the breakaway. Almost an opportunity for DiBenedetto. Then it comes back to the defensive pair. Barnes near side. Gets it back from Light. Now he skates it along. Barnes looks for the toe drag. Has to retrieve it in the corner though. Alabama trying to clear. DiBenedetto lost it at his feet. Lieberknight's got it. Poked away from him past Odlin. Or Rodin, excuse me. And it's back to Barnes. Stretch pass. Light can't catch it, but does get enough of it to negate the icing. It's another solid first line shift there for the Utes.
Osterman didn't think so. He waving his hands in protest.
Well, looking from Light's reaction to that pass, I don't think he might have touched it either. Linesman right there, though, as Perry looks for the centering pass. A little wide, almost tapped in by Jerome. Almost that poke check into a goal. As now the Alabama comes 2-on-2. Teed comes center. Good defense from Odlin. Loose on that far side. Lost in the feet of a Bama player. Still loose. Now the teams will dig after into the corner. Under 9 minutes now to go in this contest. Odlin, backhand, glove down by Perry. And it'll come 2-on-2. Instead, they'll send it in change. Leave Totfest to go after it. He lays down a good check in the corner. And Utes almost had an opportunity. Now Paolo fires a shot. That goes wide. Number 19 for the Tide, that's Brian Sable, a little shaking up after that hit from Totfest. Meyer settles. Fires a shot. Saved by Osterman. They try to jam it. No success, though. Briere trying to outskate him, man. Good check by Navarez. Paolo helping out, too, but still come the Tide. Johnson across the ice looking for Hannah. Just missed on the sauce pass. Back out the center ice it comes. Alabama. D-to-D pass Saraceno. Bowman takes a shot at the blue line. Utah up the far boards. Light tried to chip it past, could not. Johnson tried to do the same, stolen by Paolo. Paolo looking to skate it himself. Utes have numbers. Almost offside as Light had to kind of check himself up. Loop pass to the far side. Beery can't pull the trigger.
Good stick there by Hannah. Just get that one in there.
Beery goes off for the change. Lieberknight comes back on for Utah. He'll pick it back up. Nice little toe drag. Gives it to DiBenedetto in the corner. Looking back for Lieberknight. Stolen away. Still loose. Trying to hack after it. Now here comes Johnson trying to settle that puck, but Barnes, good defensive play there. Under 7 minutes now to go. Utes, ton of ice. Light, onside. Oh, maybe just a little half step ahead of it. Very interesting call, but it is
I do
offside.
think that was the right call, though.
I think it was maybe by just a half a skate.
By half. I think it was the right call.
So that puck's coming all the way back down. Light with a pretty good opportunity there, but couldn't stay on side. It's a real shame.
No three-line pass either. So.
Yeah.
Or two-line pass. Could have been a three-line.
I think it was a three-line.
Yeah.
So the Utes have to go only back into their own end off of that offside call. Face-off was where the pass originated from. Back out center ice, Kirkwood. Just leaves it along. Godfrey will get to it first. Center pass off target. Barnes surveys, gives it to Lieberknight. Poked away, but right to Light. Light, nice move in front. He'll shoot. Osterman, the save, kicks out in front. Lieberknight leaves it for Barnes. Wrist shot too high.
It's the right idea. I like the pace from the Utah offense, actually, when they're in their offensive zone. I think they're doing a good job in the third.
It's a lot quicker than what we've seen. Is Wallette able to dig that out? He'll bring it ahead. Settles, has the rest of his team coming into the zone. Now gives it down low, looking for it back. Floated pass in front, blocked by his own man, and that could break out Utah. Ahead, Totfest has the lone goal for Utah. He's all alone 1-on-4, and a good poke check from Wallette. Pass by Durkin is blocked. Comes right back to him, though. Pass up the near side boards. Hannah just chips it along as we're under 6 minutes now to go. D-to-D pass. Quickly up ahead. Perry can't hold on to it. Sends back down. Casper thought about playing it. Wisely leaves it for the defense. Utes can't clear it out the near side boards. Tide keeps it in for Bama. Still loose here on the near side. It'll be a penalty up for Alabama. With 5:11 to go, as that's Totfest that takes a tumble. A tripping call on the way to Dylan Tide.
Well, now you get your power play going. You got the goal.
Yep.
Good time to get a power play goal.
And like we were saying, when we were kind of critiquing the power play earlier, we'll see, you know, if they can kind of bring that speed up, inject some speed into the passes, into the movement, kind of get this Bama team a little bit confused. You know, maybe there's a couple adjustments going in there after intermission. Maybe we'll see something here, but just anything to build towards these this stretch of games that the Utes have coming up.
There you go. Starts with a face-off win.
Yeah, gets the win. 7th power play of the night for Utah, 0 for 6. Petrie looking for a shooting lane. That's blocked. Still loose and cleared.
Yeah, just nothing there as Bama just kind of put all 4 guys down in the slot area there, you know, the house, and just Petrie, kind of an ill-advised shot and can't get it through.
Kind of stagnant, too. I would like to see a little bit more off-puck movement from the players.
See what they do this time. Light sets it up. Down low to Benedetto. Tries to walk in, gives it a Light. All 4 Tide players down low in that bottom of the slot. Another penalty coming up to Alabama. It's another shot that's deflected up out of play. And for the 4th time tonight, the Utes will have an extended 5-on-3 power play. They're 0 for 3 on their last 3 attempts. It's a slashing call.
This is just uncanny at this point.
I can't believe it. Every power play that the Utes have is turned into a 5-on-3.
Have you ever seen something like I've never seen at any level where you have a power play and it ends up being a 5-on-3 every single time?
Right, and I mean, in a couple of these cases, is they're really unnecessary plays that I mean, for Bama though, I mean, it really hasn't affected them all that much. And on the other side, for the Utes, you got to think, this is getting to a point where it's demoralizing that you're not scoring on these opportunities. These are the types of chances that you live for as a hockey player. And they're again, loose face-off. They'll thankfully keep it in the zone, though.
So let's see what they can do. 5-on-3 for the 4th time tonight. It's the 4th time the charm. Meyer playing catch with Petrie. Back top it goes. Meyer looks, shoots, save Osterman. Back in Utah's possession, though. Light will try it this time. Gives it to Meyer. Ooh, wanted the one-time pass just a little behind him. Now to Light. Looks, wrist shot is blocked, and Alabama clears.
Yeah, Meyer there kind of towards the top of the circle, going down towards the dot, wanted to 1-tee that, and the puck just a little behind him, had to slow it up.
Utah will try again. 30 seconds to go in the 5-on-3. Petrie sets up at the top of the circle, has a lane. Will he take it? No, gives it to Meyer. Meyer back to Petrie. A lot of traffic, walks in, scores!
Here we go. I was dying. I thought he was going to shoot that first one, but he makes good on it and scores there.
Yeah, no chance for Osterman. He had to fight through about 3 skaters, 2 of his own team, to see that puck. And I mean, with something like that, you pick one spot and you aim for it. It was right there. Osterman, no chance on the goal. And, well, now we got the 1 goal, 5-on-5. We got a special teams goal and maybe a chance for another one.
So it's still on the power play for a minute, too. It's 2-6 now as Guy Petrie gets his 3rd of the season. Not too bad for Guy, just his 8th game of the season as he's missed some extended time with injuries. 8 games, 3 goals as a defenseman's pretty darn good.
Yeah, unfortunately, Petrie had a pretty severe concussion earlier in the year, so it's good to see him back out on the ice.
Here comes Alabama. Kirkwood poked away. So Utah's made it a little bit more respectable here with thanks to 2 late goals. They have another opportunity. Todfest just can't pull the trigger in time. Credit Joseph for coming hard on the back check as he had a man wide open on the back door.
Well, interesting, too. I wonder if he thought about taking the shot or giving up for the pass, because both options were there.
Nice move from Totfest. That one's going to float back behind the net. Perry, top of the point. Barnes, final 10 seconds of the power play here. Good diving.
Nice
swat
play.
at it. Have a man on the back door walking in Totfest. It ends up coming behind the net, and Alabama will ring this hard.
This might be icing.
Yeah, it will be.
Well, I guess not.
No, I guess, all right. Once he took a deflection, as Casper comes out to play, Barnes kind of steals it away from him. Picks his own goaltender's pocket.
Sometimes you have to do that with Casper. He's a pretty aggressive goalie. You just think he wants to shed the pillows and just take the puck out himself and create some scoring opportunities. Can't blame him on a night like tonight, though.
That's true. Briere fires a shot. That one's turned aside by those said pads of Patrick Casper. Quick passing from Alabama. Now chips up behind the net. Final 2 minutes or just under 2 minutes now. We're not on minute 39 and counting. Utes, as Jonesy mentioned, trying to win this period and build momentum. They're up 2-1 in this period. They can hold on for the final 90 seconds here, maybe add another one.
Yeah, you see Meyer coming in here with speed. I think you could just tell that there was a little bit of life that kind of picked up through that bench once they started scoring some goals here. I mean, you know, from our perspective, we think maybe Light put one in, and all of a sudden it's a 6-3 game. Granted, they didn't give themselves enough time, but it's something that you can build off of and say, hey, these guys aren't impenetrable. You know, Osterman, as good as he's played, he got a couple lucky bounces, and just overall, you know, they were outplayed tonight, but they can play with this Alabama team as good as they are.
Well, if you're Alabama, you got to be careful about, like, you know, turning the switch off. And it seems like they almost did for the third period because, you know, sometimes you turn the switch off for a period, it's tough to turn that back on even the next night, or, you know, once you turn it off, it gets a little contagious.
Yeah, and Bama has, you know, nothing to, or I was going to say nothing to lose. They have everything to lose, really. Just sitting on that cusp of being a bubble team for the national tournament is they could really use a sweep of Utah these next 2 weekends.
And cannot afford to lose to unranked teams if you're on that bubble. As Alabama kind of going to try and hold on to for the final 15 seconds here. Maybe one last rush is nice passing to Rooney. Looks for the back door, passes off target. That'll be it for this one. The horn will sound to conclude tonight's contest. The Utes put up a good fight in that third period. They get the 2 goals to make it a 4-goal contest. They win the period 2-1, but it is an outcome that just comes a little bit short. 6-2 the final score here tonight.
Yeah, I think going into tomorrow night, there's going to be a couple keys to the game. Is that the Utes start like they did. You know, in the first 5 minutes they played fantastic, but they got to get some goals early. They have to capitalize on the power plays, and just overall they got to play better. They got to find their rhythm and start scoring goals. Yeah,
you come out the way that you started the first. You play with the same intensity and the same kind of gusto that you had in the third. You push a pace, and I think with the thing too, now you get that goal, you kind of relax a little bit.
Right.
You want to relax. You got your goal. You got your special teams goal. You come in tomorrow and you build off of that. You got to build. You got to lay a foundation before you start building a big, beautiful mansion. I think that's what we have going here right now.
Right. It'll be interesting too to see who Coach Hurst goes with tomorrow in between that. I know Mock not necessarily responsible for the 5 goals, but they threw in Casper as a little bit of a change up for that third period. We'll see if it's Casper. Maybe it's going to be Slaw. Guys starting to see equal time in net for the Utes, so it'll be interesting to see who they go with tomorrow.
Yeah, it should be a fun one, yeah.
Yep, so some building blocks for Utah to build on tomorrow night. We want to thank everybody for joining us for tonight's broadcast. We want to invite everybody to come back tomorrow. It's Pink in the Rink tomorrow. Breast Cancer Awareness Night's always a fun night here when that event gets going on, guys.
Yeah, absolutely. It's one of the Utah traditions, and you know, kind of later in the season this time around, but always a good night to be out.
I mean, you've played in a couple of these games as
yeah.
well. It's always fun to don the special jerseys.
Yep.
You get the community together.
Yeah, I was thankful enough that I got my jerseys back at home. I got one of them framed, but just to have all of your teammates sign the jerseys afterward, knowing that you're playing for a good cause, you know, especially it hits home. with Jackson Barlocker, one of the former Utah alumni players. So it's a really special night that I'm really glad that this Utah team participates in. If you're watching at home tonight and have the ability to come out tomorrow, please do. If not, feel free to tune in here and feel free to contribute whatever you can to your local cancer charities.
Yep, all the proceeds tomorrow night benefiting the Huntsman Cancer Institute. We hope you join us here 7:30 at the Utah Ice Sheet here at the Salt Lake City Sports Complex just across the way from Rice-Eccles Stadium. That's going to do it for us tonight. We want to thank Brian and Boz for joining us tonight. We want to thank all of you for joining us tonight as well. For Ryan, for Boz, I'm Matt Combs. Signing off tonight, the Utes fall to the Alabama Crimson Tide 6-2. The final score in this one. We will be back here tomorrow night, 7:30, for another edition of Utah Hockey. For everybody here with the program, thank you so much for joining us. Have a great rest of your night, and we'll see you tomorrow. You've been watching the University of Utah take on Alabama right here on Utah Hockey on YouTube. Have a good night.